Waiting to see if I get pulled into the water, and there it is! What is up, everyone? I am Lovenji Gaming, and we are here for the grand finals of Populous The Beginning's Revival Tournament. I am actually joined by another prominent member of the Populous community. He's a shoutcaster, he's a single-player lover, he's the founder of The Beginning website for all your Populous needs. It is The Beginning, also known as Craig. How you doing, Craig?
Very well, Lovenji. Thanks for having me. Looking forward to this best of 7 final we've got in our hands here.
Yep, absolutely. So, playing as the red base, as the red tribe, very helpful that they asked for this rotation configuration. He is possibly the greatest we've ever had in all time representing Clan Divinity's slaves. It is Nisi. And his opponent in the yellow base is the yellow tribe, looking to finally get a #1 victory for himself. It is the one of the admins of Clan Overpowered. It is Babbo. Very often we see these two in the finals.
I was just going to say, I'm unfamiliar with this matchup. Have these two met before?
Yes. Just about every tournament I've ever hosted has had a Babbo versus Nisi finals, with Nisi getting the better of Babbo in every occasion.
I'm right in thinking you did a Invisibility Cup show match, and it was it closer than normal? Babbo had a few wins?
I would say the games were closer than the final score would indicate, because the final score was 6-1 in Nisi's favour, but a few of them were very, very, very close games.
Oh, this is a familiar map, Lovenji. But for anyone who's tuned in and is maybe more familiar with multiplayer and this than single player, why does the spell bar have all the spells on them?
Well, because this is the Revival mod, a project headed up by Clan Asgard's Rallymer. It rebalances all the different spells that you can see on the panel on the left there, and adjusts them to try and make them all viable but not overpowered in competitive play. And the purpose of this tournament was to really get some good players in and put that to the test.
Interesting. Now, I've just hit a couple of keys and pulled up the spectator dashboard here, so I can see by pressing 2 and 3 who's who.
Yeah, exactly. So the numbers correspond to the tribe. So if there was a player 1, you could hit 1 and 4 for green, and 5, 6, 7, and 8. And so on and so forth.
Interesting. So immediately I can see here, populations are very, very similar.
Yeah, which I think favours Nisi. I mean, you would typically expect the yellow tribe to pull away with the combat a little bit more in the 1v1 variant of Pressure Point, known as Yggdrasil. So I would say Nisi's gotten pretty good conduct for himself if he's this close to Babbo already.
A very typical start for the map, isn't it?
I would say the tower structure is typical, but if you go over to Babbo's base, you may notice some very atypical constructions.
Well, I've certainly seen the temple. I can see a boathouse there at the back. Yep. So I might see some early raids across the water. Now, the minimap has been chosen to be disabled by Nisi, which is a bit of a cowardly move, in my opinion, but that's the tournament rules, and that's his entitlement. But maybe that'll bite him in the arse when he doesn't see the boats coming across the water.
Yeah, so obviously, those of you who have played other strategy games, but perhaps not played Populous The Beginning, one of the unique features about this strategy game versus others is we don't have a fog of war. We do, but we never play with it on, is probably the more accurate way of saying it. So, although Nisi doesn't have access to the minimap, it is within his ability to just hit the enter, go to the worldview, and have a little look at this boatload of preachers, and a shaman's coming already. There's the magical shield.
Yeah, and the magical shield as well. Is the shaman going to get in?
Oh, and he blasts the boat before he gets into it.
Because as you might not know, you cannot cast spells in Revival whilst you are in a boat.
And there you go, Nisi saw it. He's already got Fire Warriors in these back huts, but there's the Erode. Doesn't quite get the Fire Warrior training hut, but did get the Warrior hut. Baba's already down.
Oh!
And Nisi read him like a book. He had the Hypnotize ready for the Magical Shield.
He did, and he's chosen not to put them in the boat there. He could have put them in the boat and maybe let them sink once they become back to the Yellow Tribe's colour, but... It looks like Nisi's going to use the boat.
Baba's using the exploit.
That was cheating. Oh, well, that shouldn't be allowed. That needs fixing. That's been known for years.
So there you go.
Right.
There's the little announcement. Nisi finding out that you cannot cast spells whilst inside the boat. And Baba's now bringing his own Fire Warriors to the back of the base. Nisi finding out again that
He's made it to the final of the tournament without knowing that he can't cast spells from vehicles. He's just found out. Looks like he's going to go and land on the side strip of Babo's base here.
Which makes sense, you know, you see those Fire Warriors being pulled to the back of the base, the very first thing you want to do is avoid them, especially because you cannot cast from the boat. Tornado from Babo's going to pick Nisi up and immediately... Nope, I thought it was going to throw him in the water, but not quite. Nice Tornado miss from Nisi, gets picked up by Babo with a follow-up blast.
In the favour of Babo very much there. He's managed to avoid the tornado, keep his shaman alive, get the boat back, which is something we do not normally see in Populous Online. I just said he got the boat back.
He did get the boat back. And how do you feel about players fighting for control of a boat, given your tentative relationship with them?
Well, me and boats have a very back and forth relationship. Mostly it's just back. Put them to the back of my mind. But when they get to the front, I just... Hang on, it's the first game, Lovenji. We'll leave it for now. We'll come back to it later. Population-wise, Nisi is in the lead by 16 now.
Yep, and there is one other issue that Babo's now running into, and that is that he has not factored an amendment to the rate at which he's building for all the new structures. He's gone for all these troop huts, and now he has no wood. You can see at the back of his base, the warrior training hut not going to be completed for a while. Babo's looking to attack Nisi's side strip, it seems. The meth land bridge out of Nisi there. Babo going to get in, drop an earthquake, and sail away. Swarm.
But he had the swarm, and another addition to the revival tournament is that the swarm does affect shamans in vehicles now, just like they do from huts. And that earthquake, an earthquake costs more mana, and it has done very, very insignificant damage there. And Nisi's going to take the boat, so very favourable for Nisi, that engagement.
Yes, absolutely. So I like the ideas that Babo is trying to bring to the table, but it does show that Nisi's not fazed by all these extra features being turned on. You know, he can adapt to the magical shield, he can adapt to the boat and the shaman trying to harass his shores. It looks like the shamans are once again going to play another game of Pass the Boat. Babo shaman now on high ground. This is the weirdest Yggdrasil I've ever seen because the shamans are constantly at the back of the bases.
But it's so much fun! The next Yggdrasil and Revival could go completely differently. There could be balloons. Swarms missed.
Babo missed the swarm. Tornado from Nisi going to damage that warrior training hut, so now it will definitely never be finished. Babo gets the boat once again. Nope. He's gonna...
He tried to do his trick there, I think, but didn't work.
Tried to do his fancy trick where he, you know, Nisi just died. He could have just got in the boat.
The risk versus reward there, you can see the risk because it's just pointless. Boat is so slow at moving back to the shore.
So, be interesting to see how Babo handles his wood situation at the moment. He's still putting plans down, and I don't know where he expects the wood to come from. Fire Warrior's patrolling at the back of the base. Meanwhile, Nisi has continued his standard play. You know,
He has got warriors in the middle.
Yep, so he's got warriors controlling the middle, he's got his towers filled at the front, he's got fire warriors in the huts at the back, just in case of more boats. And he's casting normal spells that we would expect to see. Tornadoes coming out of Nisi there. Stripping back the first two towers.
Yeah, Nisi opting just to play as he normally does. Plays the mana game. He's got 20 population more right now. He's got the troops at the front. Of course, they will be stopped by a preacher, but that preacher would need to be unimpeded by the enemy shaman. It looks like Nisi, as you... Oh, look! What did you tell me before the start of the game?
Fantastic. So it does look like Nisi has recognized, at the very least, the threat of his opponent. Nisi went through his previous series with Mahmoud not building any temples or training any preachers. Nisi has opted to go for the temple, which means we'll get to see how Nisi controls preachers as well.
So I'm just trying to make out what these spectator things mean. I think it's are they follower deaths on the bottom there. So Babo's lost a lot more followers, I believe, or lost fights. I'm not too sure.
I think it's followers deaths. Not all of the values on the second screen work. It's when you push the number twice that you go to that second tab.
Well, Nisi's taken out a couple of towers, a hut, and he's lost his shaman now, so it's not time for Babo to retaliate himself with some tornadoes. And we also see a second fire hood coming up for Nisi now, and he's building towers in the back of his base.
Yeah, so what I found in the revival games that I've cast so far is troop play is a lot stronger than players are normally used to. Troop play has always been the way that you kill opponents in Populous, but now you can just straight up opt for shaman killing with your shaman and then just troops, and it can be a very dangerous strategy. Another erode coming out for Babo there. He gets the kill onto Nisi, but not before the tornado goes out onto his shaman. Babo's stuck in the tornado.
I do think erode just needs that little bit extra, like, puddle. It only made a tiny little puddle. But then, if you have it, give it another one. Is it too much?
It's already pretty strong in that, you know, if you'd cast that a little bit further back, that could have ruined all those towers. And let's not forget the first erode that Babo did, killing 2 huts. So
yeah, we should also mention that erode is also cheaper than it used to be. I think it's the same cost as what an earthquake originally costs.
Yes, it's the same cost as an unedited earthquake. And we found, especially on Yggdrasil, cast in the center of bases, it can be incredibly destructive, taking out 5 huts, sometimes more.
Of course, it lacks the lava that the earthquake does, which is normally where the damage comes from in population.
Yeah, which sort of opens up into what we were talking about before that shaman trade there, where troop play is incredibly strong now. You can use cheaper spells like erode to destroy the huts and then follow it up with large armies. So multiple troop huts are coming out for players a lot in the revival.
You see him trying to make his way through the center here. Yep. This one does. Bit of a freeze there.
Good earthquake, I think. Going to mess up Babo's path, and it looks like Babo's opting to go for a trade here. He's got preachers with him, he's got magical shield as well. Now, his erode is actually going to hurt him here because his preachers can't get up.
Yeah, meanwhile, Nisi's going for his own attack on the side. He's got warriors, preachers, and fire arrows. He's sending some of his own preachers back now to defend against Babo's, which is well, he's bringing them back forward now. He's got swarms on the towers, but those towers are actually filled with preachers, I believe, and he's going to get in there and probably cast an earthquake on the temple. Babo, not sure what he's going to do. Shaman's still forward.
Onto the temple there. Meanwhile, Babo's magically shielded preachers pouring on in. Babo's sending even more preachers into Nisi's base. He's hoping that in this trade, because Nisi's gone for more warriors than he has preachers, if they both lose their bases, Babo wins the population swing with the preacher unit actually converting followers as opposed to murdering them.
Hypnotize on the single preacher in the temple to get rid of him. An earthquake there just been charged. Babo rather has got his own earthquake in pocket. He's cast another erode on the defense there. He's got magical shield. The preacher's doing a lot of damage here.
There goes another erode to take out that temple as well. Earthquake onto the fire warrior training her. Yeah, Babo is trying to deny Nisi the ability to train troops, and in true Populous the beginning fashion, the earthquake sinks nothing.
It sank into the water, but that preacher decided to start fighting rather than preaching.
Fantastic. So there are preachers all about Nisi's base, but it doesn't seem to be making a huge dent in Nisi's population as warriors run through Babo's base.
This is precisely what's the killing blow is here, Lovenji, is these warriors in Babel's base are going to kill the population rather than attempt to convert them. And we see the population drop now is half of Nisi. This is pretty much game.
Nisi survives that blast, misses the light onto Babo though. Nisi going for a light early, very uncharacteristic of his usual playstyle. Babo's being forced to clean up troops to preserve what little population he has left. Magical shield still exists on some creatures, and there is some pop in Nisi's base being a little bit destructive. Babo's just going to go straight back over to Nisi's base and try to keep these creatures alive, top them off with more magical shield perhaps.
Yeah, that one is converting a lot there, but his magic shield's about to fade. It's gone now, and he's not going to survive. I don't think. Babo's trying to get there. He's got it!
Just gets the magical shield back on.
Got it! That's very important. That was a huge magical shield. It's what Babo needs to attempt to get back into this game, but
Nisi's population now is starting to drop. You know, he's still ahead of Babo, do not get me wrong. But, you know, Nisi's dropping from the hundreds to the 70s.
We've got wild men coming back.
Yeah, the wild men are going to return. It's a feature that can be turned off in 1.5, but isn't in this instance. Fire Warrior in that tower was finally shot down. There's very little resistance left to these creatures in the back of the base. But surely Babo needs to go back to his base, because at this point, if he just keeps trading with Nisi, creatures are slower than warriors. They do convert pop instead of killing them, but...
Yeah, Nisi's actually destroying the buildings with the trained followers here, but there's a lot of wildmen for Nisi to convert in Babo's base and the strip. The centre's got some there as well, but it looks like it's still Nisi's game to lose. He's still 30 population ahead, but we've got Babo there. He's heading back now in that boat.
Yeah, and this is what I was thinking. With wildmen starting to respawn, Babo needs to preserve what little of his base he has. He might be able to stall this game out and, you know, not lose, make the game go on much longer if he can save his base.
Well, let's see. This engagement between the shamans here could be important.
There's a lot of fire warriors in the back of Nisi's base now because of those creatures converting. Could be menacing.
Oh, I'm excited. I'm excited. Maybe if this game doesn't you know, last much longer, I'm excited for the rest of the tournament to see what we're going to see. Nice shot there by Nisi.
Nice blasting from Nisi is exactly what you'd expect to see from the number one of Populous.
Trying to see what spells. It looks like is that what Nisi's cast or what he's got? Oh, I think that's what he's cast. Okay.
That's what he's cast. The second tab.
Yeah. So he's not got any spells charged. He's got 7 warriors, and the GG has been called. Yeah, and Babo down to 20 population has surrendered. First game goes to Nisi.
Game number 1 goes Nisi's way in this best of 7, but I like to think it was a good game. There were some interesting tactics coming out for both players there. And Nisi's
I mean, there were boards.
Already built a temple.
He has. And did they help in his victory?
I feel like they did. He did utilize some creatures in his push. But I don't think they were the be-all, end-all that Babo tried to make them be.
No, it was just that one trade that didn't go in Babo's favour, really, which is very similar to the normal game.
Very stereotypical of Babo's gameplay. The trade either works or it doesn't.
Yep.
What is up, everyone? It is Lovenji, once again joined by The Beginning, also known as Craig, and we're here for game number 2 of the Revival's first tournament show match.
Yes, hello Lovenji, and we are playing the second game. It's Bad Moon.
Twin Moon.
Twin Moons. Sorry, because there's also a Bad Moon in the same pack, I think. So this is Twin Moons, normally an 8-player map, if I'm thinking correctly.
No,
I've been playing...
Bad Moon's the 8-player version. Twin Moon is the 4-player version.
Right, I've done my research. So both players are on one side, opposite each other, whilst the other half of the map, they are actually, well, they are separated, are they? But they have Braves over there. Is that right? No. How has Babbo got men over there? Oh, he's gone and converted. Clever.
He's thrown a convert over there to grab that other base. That would normally be the green and blue bases. Well, I've rotated red and blue, but yeah.
Okay.
There is nothing in the rules that say the players cannot utilize additional bases. Mammoet did it in his series in Nisi and almost brought it back, actually, and almost claimed victory. You've got Cess-style gargoyles here. Praying to them will connect you to the center gargoyle and grant you a free convert. And then this gargoyle here will connect you to the stonehead in the center of the map, and also give whoever completes the prey a free charge of Firestorm.
Okay.
And the stonehead in the center is what we like to call the Gabba stonehead. It will give you a volcano, but your punishment for doing so, it will blow itself up, effectively.
Yes, so you will get the reward, but you'll also die.
You'll lose whatever's praying there, that is for sure.
An interesting texture here.
Very,
one of the originals.
Very colourful texture, and I haven't introed the players, so in our yellow base, he's down one game, but I thought he brought out some interesting tactics. Representing clan overpowered, it is Babbo. His opponent up 1-0 already. He's already built a temple. Representing clan divinity slaves, it is Nisi.
I was looking for the temple, but you mean the previous game.
Yes, yeah. He built a temple in the previous game. Because I was quite fond of that statistic. I was building it up. I was like, how long can Nisi go without building a temple? And the answer is not very. He built it in the first game.
Yeah. So Nisi hasn't done any converts on the other island there. And there's a lot of wildmen he could easily snatch. So
Babbo did drop me a message, and he was like, I'm pretty sure you can reach the other island with a convert from your core. And it does appear that has worked as he's built up a second base, but he is going to need to connect them at some point. Because that base, providing population, is nice and all. It's going to be a good injection to the mana, but it's also going to be a pain in the backside to micromanage. And Babbo's micro is not great at the best of times.
Yeah, and I must say these bases at the back are quite close. So, Shaman Blast there. Babbo's going to back off. Yeah, the bases are quite close, so if someone does get a vehicle, they'd be over there very, very quickly.
So I suspect that what Babbo is doing here... Oh no, he might be he's disproving me. What's happened on this map so far is the person who starts the prey often ends up losing it because it goes back and forth between shamans killing each other, and then someone gets a free firestorm for no reason. Babbo appears to be lagging, but I've closed everything that I possibly can for him. Hi, Mammoet. Good to see such good viewership for the finals.
I'll try to fix my hotkeys, but I didn't have time.
You're more than welcome to fix your hotkeys if you really want.
I don't want to ruin my my viewership for when I upload my own video in 6 months' time.
It'll be a good video.
So, what are the players playing for here? This is obviously the final of the tournament, best of 7, but what is the reward? What will the winner take home that the runner-up will be envious of? Besides bragging rights.
Oh, hold on 1 second. We have a blast coming out of Nisi, getting the kill onto Babbo there, who was patrolling his shaman backwards and forwards. A couple of converts out of Nisi, and Babbo hasn't yet filled his towers. Now,
and no spells. There's the earthquake. It's just charged.
Yep, Nisi's charged an earthquake. It'll be interesting to see what else Nisi has. Because I strongly suspect he hasn't just not charged anything. Earthquake onto the Fire Warrior training hut does seem good. Let's see what the lava does. The lava is not Nisi's friend in this occasion. Fire Warrior hut choosing not to sink into the land. But there's a lot of Braves being blasted here. by Nisi Shaman, who's on the warpath. Babbo still has the population lead thanks to that second base, but it's minute and gone now.
And Nisi's doing a lot of damage here just with the blasts. And he's managing to survive with the old blast trickeroony there. He's down to 38 pop Nisi now. Babbo, sorry. Whilst Nisi's on 48, so he is down by 10.
And the other problem for Babbo that he's going to experience now is half of his pop is going to be spawning on the island where it's no use to him.
And Nisi could quite easily train a preacher, put him in a balloon or a boat, and send them over there.
Have a little look at what Nisi's base is doing. Nisi has got only a Fire Warrior training hut at the moment. Of course, he's been harvesting all of his trees, managing his wood, as you would expect on a map like this. Tornado coming out for Babbo here. Weakened. No, those are real Braves. Thought it was a weakened Ghost Army just about getting in the tower, but no, those are real Braves picked up by the conducts.
I think the ghosts are so weak these days in this revival mode, they can't even survive half a second. Don't even survive a punch or anything, do they?
No, I think they have 1 HP.
Fire Warrior list?
I think they have 1 HP, so they get breathed on by a Fire Warrior and they die.
Yep.
Can't tell if... I think that's a second Fire Warrior hut coming up for Babbo there, not waiting to repair the one that he already has.
Certainly is. So when the other one's repairable, maybe he'll dismantle. But no, it's actually getting built now. So is he going to cancel the one, or is he going to opt for 2 Fire Warrior huts?
Fire Warriors are, I would say, but they're always a very powerful unit type, but I think they have a much stronger place in Revival as just a unit that you have out on the field with the presence of Preachers. Having a couple of Fire Warriors in your army does change that dynamic a little bit. Oh, it does appear. Good spot. Nisi's gotten a Brave onto the other island. He has started building a base of his own as well.
Significantly further behind Babbo's second base, but obviously Nisi's main base, he'd be more happy to have that one performing better than 2 half-performing bases, if that makes sense to you? Or is that my Aperol Spritz talking?
No, it
nice
feeding.
feeding!
Ooh, what a lightning from Babbo there. He's going to try to secure this free Firestorm. I mean, a free Firestorm is a free Firestorm, but look what Nisi is doing here. There's 2 structures there that you're going to want to look at.
I am noticing a temple and a boat hut. And I might not be right, but we don't normally see that in multiplayer.
No, we definitely don't see that often in multiplayer. And what's more, even in the last game, we didn't see that burst from Nisi. Nisi's actually got a temple before Babbo. He's got a boathouse as well. So I think Nisi's sort of read your mind. And that boathouse is going to go straight to Babbo's second base. There's no troops there. Babbo is working on a temple.
That. He's got the free Firestorm, Babbo. He's got the land bridge, that huge land bridge, over to the centre there. But Nisi is creating land to connect to his second island. Is he going to... What's he doing?
I think Nisi's just...
He's going to send men across. That's it. Yeah, he's going to
Nisi's
expand
just
across.
going to have that path so that the 2 bases are actually useful to one another. Because now if Babbo wanted to attack that position before it was established, Nisi's now got the path to go and defend it. Whereas Babbo's in for a shot as these priests are going to jump into a boat.
You know what we haven't seen yet? Obviously the priests are in a boat now, but we haven't seen invisible units. I would love to see some invisible fireworks from Babbo to take Nisi Shima by surprise.
Invisible Fire Warriors would be nice. Babbo's just opting for the perfectly visible Fire Warriors, assisted by Shaman Blast and lightning from both Shamans, failing to find the mark there. But Babbo
second one's connected. How much more
playing...
beneficial would it have been there to have a magical shield around those Fire Warriors on your Shaman? Or maybe
what
Nisi has
unfortunate timing for that hut to upgrade. If Babbo sees that, he doesn't. He's controlling something. Oh, he's controlling his base because there's preachers amongst
the preachers are there, just as we thought, Lovenji. They've landed. He tried to build his own temple there. He hasn't managed to get any of his own preachers trained now. Babbo's at a risk of losing his entire second base.
This is not looking good for Babbo right now. His second base under threat from the preachers, the holy boys. And Babbo dying to just 2 Fire Warriors on the front line as well, meaning Nisi has sort of a 2-pronged attack here.
This is where players' macro and the APM really comes into play here.
It looks like there is another boat shepherding yet more creatures onto that island. Gonna absolutely tear this down. And
this is such a great play. I mean, it was expected, but was the previous... how many games has Nisi played before this? Did you just play the one?
He only played one best of series against Mammoth because he got a bye in the first round. And then he had a disqualified opponent in the second round who didn't show up. So he only played a set against Mammoth.
But him opting not to use Preachers, did he even use boats in those games?
No. Actually, even this map was one of the maps played in the last games, and Nisi did a traditional Pop RE backdoor with land bridges and flattens.
I wonder if that was part of the mind games.
Could
As
very
he
well
enters...
be.
As he enters Babbo's main base, he's got Landbridge, Lightnings. Babbo Shaman is making the return now, which gives the Preachers in his second base more time to convert half of his population.
I do like that Landbridge from Nisi. It's going to give his Fire Warriors easy access to the high ground, as well as his Shaman Lightning coming down on the Babbo Shaman does secure the kill as an Earthquake comes down in the heart of the yellow base.
Earthquake, still a very powerful spell here. These Fire Warriors protecting the Shaman. Could be magical shielded here to prevent him from getting lightninged again. Very dominant position here for Nisi.
Babbo has got Fire Warriors out on the second island, so he can slowly clear up those creatures if his micromanagement is good. But just as soon as he puts out one fire, Nisi's lit another. His main base is now under severe attack.
Yeah, he's patrolling the Fire Warriors towards the centre for reincarnation sites. Babbo Shaman's back now. He's managed to escape a tricky situation there, whilst the Preachers of Nisi have taken over the Stonehead in the centre.
Certainly have. We'll see if Nisi continues that prey. He does know it's a volcano because he was the one that completed the prey on it last time. That showed me what it was.
Nisi with the 23.
A little bit faster. He's got lots of idle Fire Warriors and still Preachers in his second base.
He's got so much to do now. He's 23 population behind. Nisi's in control of the map. He's got map control, and he is beginning to expand in his second base now. So the population lead is just going to increase further.
The only saving grace that Babbo has is he did get that free Firestorm, and a Firestorm used correctly can be a game-changing spell. But Nisi's...
Where does he use it?
Exactly, where do you use it? And also, Nisi's getting to the point where a Firestorm's not going to be a big deal for him. He'll just be able to charge one. Keep your free Firestorm.
There are boats all around the globe now. This is fun to see. As much as I don't like boats, it's mostly when I have to control them. It's good to watch other people use them and struggle.
Well, you say struggle, but I'm thinking, how good is this boat control from Nisi? He's been pulling Braves away from the second base as he preaches them. He's been sending additional creatures. He's got multiple boats on the go. It's a little bit like watching an AI with the boats.
A lightning battle here now. I want to see some magical shield, but the connect again from the lightning. It's rare to see these players using lightnings so often. They normally advocate for not using lightning, but they can obviously understand its importance here. There's been no changes to lightning in the revival mode.
There's been no changes to lightning, but I think there's been significant changes to the Shaman's destructive power, right? When she's got access to things like Hypnotize, Magical Shield, the buffed Erode, as well as the traditional spells that we already know from multiplayer, killing a Shaman becomes a lot more important. There's the free Firestorm. It's going to get Babbo into the base, maybe. I don't know, his Shaman's having a little bit of a rough time with the Pathfinding. She's failing to get in there twice now. The Firestorm does come down. It's not perfectly placed, but I think it's going to get those free huts, and in fact, it does. Earthquake from Babbo onto the
here. Nisi Shaman's come back, and he's heading straight to Babbo's base. He's going to go for the lightning. He's got the
Babbo
shot. He's killed this. Oh, there were tons of troops here. This could be huge. If he can stop these, that earthquake is not that great. It's sort of gone the wrong way he would have hoped for. He needs to stop those troops.
But what Babbo's attack has done here, because these troops are not going to be buffed by a Shaman, they're not going to have Magical Shield, and in fact he uses the Fire Warrior there to take the deliberate death. That death was deliberate. The quick respawn timer from a water death is going to get him back to his base in time for these troops to arrive.
I think Nisi will know that. He's just taking up the tower now. He's going to use them to just hold the middle position there. Meanwhile, in the second base of Babo, he's recovered now. He's continued to build and expand. By expand, I mean upgrade. He is building towards his main base. As you can see, now that they're connected, they can bring babes. They can bring the babes to and from each tribe. I've said babes and bitches so far in this tournament, so God knows what my next B is going to be.
Bitches wasn't in the VOD until just then, so now you've definitely said babes and bitches.
Oh, my bad. I thought it was. I thought I said it at the start of the level.
But that's all right. That sounds like a new rap song, doesn't it? Babes and bitches.
Babes and bitches brought to you by Lovenji DJ on the mic. I need some more booze. We've got a nice attack here from Nisi. He managed to kill Babo's shame, and now he's going to bring the troops forward. Has he got magical shield to back this up? If he does, this could be humongous.
Swarm coming down from Nisi. The side land bridge. We've seen this being used by most players who have played this map now. It's been a favourite angle of approach. Lightning from Babo, missing most of the warriors. It only got a couple of them.
This is Seamus coming. He's got 3 tornadoes and an earthquake to do some damage here.
Max range lightning.
That's beautiful.
Coming in clutch is Babo's lightning skill, which is rare for Babo. Babo's lights are normally diabolical. He's
more importantly, he's killed the shaman, but he's also cleaned up the troops.
He's killed the shaman, he's cleaned up the troops, and his last attack actually took out most of the troop huts, meaning Nisi's had to rebuild his temple, which he's working on, rebuild the warrior training hut as well. So Nisi's troop production is actually going to be lulling behind a little bit, as well as having had all those troops killed.
And considering that position, it's very smart for him to bring those preachers back there, because he knew had he lost them, he would have no more.
Absolutely, and Babo's recognised a threat, and I like this from Babo. The boathouse here is on the inside of the map. Obviously, there are still gaps where it can get to the outside, but I like this. It's taken the quicker path, and perhaps just using it as a quick assault option later on. I think
Nisi is going for this torn head in the middle now. I don't know if Babo's noticed that, but we'll see if he can sneakily get that spell. The volcano, like you mentioned earlier. Population-wise,
Babo's base with creatures.
Oh, clever.
Tornado onto the boathouse. The first boat is constructed. Ghost Army coming down for Nisi here to check whether there's fire warriors inside these huts. He knows Babo's been training a whole bunch of these troops. Earthquake coming down for Nisi, and Nisi is down. This is Babo's opportunity. Magical shield onto some breachers. Going to be trying to push on into the base. I'd actually quite like to see an erode on this high ground, because just taking away that range could be very beneficial.
Yeah, or at least a minimum get a land bridge up there and put the creatures towards the towers. But he's going to run them past. He's going to risk losing his shaman here if he's not too careful.
That's shaman dead. No?
Oh, the fall damage there. Earthquake's not gone the way they would have wanted, but it's taken out the towers. The creatures need to get separated quickly before the shaman gets over there. I can smell a hypnotize. More magical sword creatures pushing through the front now. Going to distract Nisi's shaman. Let's see what he's going to opt to do. There's the one hypno. And that'll be enough to take out the first whiff.
Yep, those hypnotized creatures are going to be able to engage with the magical shielded creatures and just disrupt the very interesting story. Nisi's earthquake on Babo's base has once again separated the two bases from one another, and both of Babo's temples are in the second base.
Look, at Nisi's bringing his preachers back now. They've done the damage. He recognised they were at risk of dying. He's brought them back. A nice road there, perhaps. He's finally taken out that hill.
And that's the erode I think Babo wanted. I think he wanted that way earlier than he got it. Because now Nisi's base looks a lot more attackable, a lot more approachable. He sent a preacher over to disrupt Nisi, trying to get the free volcano, and he's managed to start grabbing that himself instead. He's sending Braves to slow down the hypnotized preachers, trying to preserve their life.
Yeah. Doesn't want to kill his own men.
They should come back anytime now. In fact, they have just come back. Nisi's preachers in combat. Can be picked up.
And the
Both
Shaman duel.
trading lights. They really don't want to go into blast range. They don't want to take the chance. Lightning from
Bit of the tower shot.
I think it's clever anyway, because you don't want to see Yellow Shaman dick into that tower and surprise you.
Still, no magical shields for the Shaman attacks. It would be nice. I would love to see right now some some invisible fireworks just appear out of nowhere and blast either of them into the water. It would be so good to see.
So looking at the bases, who would you say is ahead right now?
Well, if I go to the world view and have a look at Babel's base, and then I compare it to Nisi's base, just by... Yeah, I would say Babel's looks better at first glance. I haven't looked too deep into it.
Babo is currently sporting an impressive 30 population leader with an additional green bar of 50.
I think Babos, Nisi's recognised this, and I was just thinking to myself, what if Nisi goes to the second base and just destroys it? But has he got the spells? He's taken his Shaman on a trip, on a journey, really. well, Babos tries to attack. Yeah, Nisi's going around the whole world. He's going to stop the prey in the middle, which is smart. But you have to get out the board to do that.
Blast onto the prey. Just going to clean up all of those Braves. Oh, it's a beautiful thing to watch. That many Braves flying through the air.
That's so interesting. Just something as simple as getting the board to the middle of the stone head. As I can see, Babel's Shaman
Babo gets pushed into
the water at the back of my screen there. I was just saying that just a simple move like that is something you don't normally see, but it's such a clever move. To see some competitive players using everything essentially of what is available to them in the game of Populous at the beginning.
Yes, and I think that's one of the things that's impressed me the most about the Revival mod is a fair few players have actually embraced the spirit of it. One of the community veterans, Tundar, has been watching the tournament and has actually been coming in and trying to play some Revival just for the sake of playing Revival, which is good to see.
Yeah, we've not seen anything overly oppressive yet. I mean, it's not been played enough to warrant what would be, I suppose, the meta game, but it's hard to have a meta game when the maps are so diverse. We're seeing yet another lightning battle here. A lot of warriors there. Could maybe magical shield some up. In fact, invisible warriors could maybe do a sneak slice, little assassination.
That's a favourite of yours.
It certainly is. Oh, and he's fallen the drink. He had to have been aware of that risk here. What would really make me cream my pants right now is if these towers had invisible fire warriors in and they just shot the Shaman. That'll be amazing. Unfortunately, no. So let's see what Nisi can do.
I feel like that's a really obscure combination of spells that you'll be waiting a while before you witness that one happening.
Yes, but then you've got 2 minutes before the invisibility wears off. It'll be amazing. So Nisi's in the base again here. He's got an earthquake. He's got 2 more lightnings in his... I keep saying arsenal. I want to try and think of a better word, but arsenal. Another missed lightning there from Babel. He's bringing some of his troops across from the second base whilst running his Braves over there, aware of the risk of losing his main base here. He is still in the population lead, but not by much now.
No, and these warriors are going to cause absolute havoc if Babo isn't able to clean them up. It's important he wins this Shaman duel, but I'm not sure he's feeling confident he can after his last 2 deaths. Oh, the Shamans have been pushed into blasting range. There you go. You get some blast tricking going. Babo's in the water. Nisi dead.
Nisi's dead. Okay, but then warriors are now free to destroy as much as they can before the preachers of Babo do come over. I think... he's going to run them back.
Smart troop control from Nisi, and this is one of the things that really makes Nisi stand out as a phenomenal player. He does not throw his troops away. Even when they're in the middle of your base, if he thinks he can get his troops out, he'll start running them and trying to get them out. And you can even see he's manually separating these warriors to minimize the fire warrior splash damage. Very good troop control from Nisi there to get the majority of those warriors out. A couple of preachers are going to catch the stragglers at the back there. Babo doesn't actually have a warrior training art, so he's relying on the... Well, oh no, he does. He's built one at last. He didn't until just now.
Nisi with boats in the middle with just Braves in. I'm not sure he's controlling them for something at the moment, but... He's able to do a lot of things. He's rebuilding his main base now that the land has come back. Land can come back sooner with the use of the flatten now, Lovenji.
Yes, yes. So the flatten spell, combined with earthquakes, significantly increased cost. The flatten spell healing damaged land was one of the things to counter. There goes the warrior training ground that I just mentioned.
Oh no, Nissi, you were talking about his troop control being so amazing, preserving the warriors. He just had all 6 stacked up and just got blasted into the water.
Oh,
but yes, he was obviously determined here and focused on Babo's base here, and he just lost his shame but got the earthquake down.
Yeah, Babo once again finds himself in a position at the front of Nissi's base. That earthquake is absolutely devastating.
Well, it took out a hood. It might have been better if it went the other way, but there we go. Babo with the attack. He's got his magical shield of men again. He's doing another earthquake on the defense, which it brings.
I mean, it's worked for him because it's got rid of most of those towers, and now there's preachers with magical shield.
Nissi Shaman's back. If Babo can get the men around his Shaman, protect himself. Oh, just take the board and scarp her out of there. Go to the back of the base this way.
Oh, another firestorm from Babo there. Oh, but he tried to get fancy, and now he's stuck in the back of Nissi's base. Oh, he does blast the boat back onto the water. He's casually waiting as it rains
it's like
fire
Jaws,
around him.
Can he get the board and escape? He's escaped!
And that was ballsy of Babo to try that trick one more time with Nissi's Shaman on his heels.
And he even made Nissi use a lightning there. Firestorm taking out 3 huts, hasn't taken out the warrior hut though. But look where he's landed.
He's in the second base, he's getting the fire warrior training hut. Here comes the other firestorm. Babo still has 2 earthquakes available to him as well. He's got so much population. Nissi hasn't been able to dent it. Double earthquake comes down. This base is pretty much gone, you would think.
Yeah, if he can get some troops in here just to clean this up, his base is gone. Of course, population now, he's in a huge advantage, Babo. He's 60 population ahead.
But here is Nissi doing what Nissi does. He wants to trade. He's taking his army. He's looking at Babo's front door and he's saying, I am coming in. Here come the swarms.
Oh, Babo's just trying to do the blast trick again to get into his boat quicker. He's failed, so now he can't even get back to his base at all.
He's going to the water. It looks like he's probably going to drown himself. Yeah, there you go. Drowned.
Get the earthquake off as well at the same time. Just killed a few more braves, destroyed a few more huts. This is now some magical shielded on the preachers to help them get in. Lightning on the tower. Checking for fire warriors in the huts. And now what has he got in his arsenal?
Oh, those fire warriors in the hut get a volley, but they not quite enough to take out Nissi's Shaman. Nissi throws an earthquake down onto the high ground. Those fire warriors inside the hut being a nuisance. The hut is touched by the lava.
Recognize the danger of that hut. Babo's Shaman is back now.
Babo's Shaman is back, but immediately gave up the high ground, which surprises me slightly.
You see the players here are opting to have hypnotizers available to them in case they need it, and obviously this has been very helpful. Now you can push Nissi back. Of course, got to be careful that Nissi doesn't have a lightning.
So the only problem with Babo's position is whilst, you know, he's done a lot of damage to Nissi, he's got a significant population advantage, he does not have the army that Nissi is currently fielding. And, well, I kind of said it once, but I'm going to say it again. The army is incredibly important in Populous, but even more so when it comes to reviving.
Yep, and Babo's killed the hypnotized men that he had. He's jumped into the balloon. He's going to head back to one of the bases. He's got the temple to maybe to aim for, which is in between the bases there. We'll have to be careful. There'll be fire warriors in the huts.
There's a temple, there's a fire warrior training hut, and a warrior hut, and I'm sure he will eventually want to take out all of them.
I am so surprised there were no fire warriors in the huts here. An earthquake, erode combo. Well, took out a couple of huts, but Nissi's now pushing into the main base of Babo with his troops.
Babo's doing what he can to assassinate as much as you can assassinate inanimate objects. The troop training huts for Nissi here. Nissi, recognizing the desperation of his position, he's basically brought every follower he has that is trained. He's got every single fire warrior in Babo's base. Babo, you got to watch that coastline because that fire warrior could have shot you. Nisi is once again running away, but Babo's got the high ground. He might be able to get... Nope, his shaman chose not to use the high ground. Oh, here she comes again.
He's
he
got
might
the
be able
position.
to get some good kills onto the pop. No, not great with light number 1. Light number 2 also failing to find any real damage there. It looks like Nisi does get his army out. Fire Warrior Training Hut is damaged but still standing. Nisi's currently without a temple. And doesn't look to be building one either, which is an interesting choice.
What took the temple out? Did Babo take it before he left?
Yeah, Babo hit it with a tornado. Babo's been very quick about getting into the boat, moving around, getting into another boat, moving around, getting into another boat, moving around, and just sort of repeating that cycle over and over and over again.
He's certainly using the vehicles to his advantage. We haven't seen balloons yet. Now, would fireworks in balloons be an option for Babo here to put pressure on the second base?
Balloons are exceptionally weak in Revival. Oh, Nisi getting killed and some of those troops getting killed.
Oh, no!
Babo doing what Babo does. Finding new ways to try and teach his shaman to swim.
I think had his shaman not died there, he could have made one humongous attack there and taken all those troops. But Nisi will live to fight another day. Yes, balloons are weak, and they are also very expensive, but they are not weak if there is nothing attacking them. And I don't think there's anything in the second base that would give any threat to the balloons, because the firewalls of Nisi are all stacked up in that massive army there at the front.
I think the problem is Babo is a bit loath to give up the building space. The balloon hut is so awkward to fit in your base. You're often giving up 1, 2, in a worst case scenario, even 3 huts to build it.
Ah, you're very correct. It's expensive in wood cost. It's also expensive in space. But look, what Nisi could have killed that preacher and just ran away. Oh no! Oh, there's a swarm. Magical shielded, Babo. Magical shielded. Actually, it won't work against swarm, will it?
No, it doesn't work against swarm.
Think about it. He can't hit. Oh, he's killed him.
If he'd watched the beginnings spell breakdown on Swarm on YouTube, he'd know that the first direction the Swarm goes in is always the same.
That's very true. It took me a year to research that.
Well,
it's some of the worst graphical design you'll ever seen, yeah. I was using that to my advantage once in level 5 of Path of the God Chosen when I was trying to end the level with swarms. On the arena level.
Well, there you go. Who said it was a waste of time?
Me.
So, Babo once again dying. Nisi again bringing the Grand Army, the Great Heathen Army.
I just don't think this is enough from Nisi. He's got no big spells, at least nothing that we can see. Maybe he's got erodes or whatever, but
And I don't know if it's an oversight or just an awareness of how far behind he is, but Nisi hasn't built another temple even now. He keeps taking this army and trying to push it into Nisi's base, or into Babo's base, and it's slowly bleeding out. He's losing more and more of it.
Yeah, but it's difficult. If you're not familiar with Populous, you think, okay, he's only a few population behind. That's not much, but I mean, 60 population for a prolonged period gives you so much more mana. You can cast so many more spells. You've got the freedom just to ignore. Look, he's running straight past. He knows Nisi Shaman's in his base. He's not worried. He knows he's ahead. This is also why Nisi's doing this, because he knows he's behind. He has to try and make something happen. But look at those troops from Babo in the middle coming to defend his base, while this Shaman is off preaching Nisi's men on the way. Look at this. He's losing fire warriors and warriors.
But do you know what Babo's at risk of happening right now? If Nisi can clear up these troops that have been clipped onto his shaman, there's enough fire warriors in Babo's base to set up a core camp. But it looks like Nisi's not opted to go for that. He's instead going to opt to interrupt the preacher and try to save some of his followers. Babo with the
Finally,
magical
shield. Yeah, and the shaman sunk there. Is that intentional? Perhaps, so he can get back and defend his base.
But look, all those fire warriors, they're going straight for Babo's core. And that's enough for a core camp. This could effectively be an all-or-nothing attack for Babo, because if he dies here, and that core camp is set up, he's going to have such a hard problem clearing it because of the high ground.
I don't think it's going to be too bad. He has got troops to be he can train, and he's bringing fire warriors from his second base.
Oh, Nisi has pulled those fire warriors off the high ground as well, so it's actually going to be okay for Babo now if he dies here. Lightning from Nisi is absolutely flawless. Easy shot.
Great shot. Great shot, but he has got to get rid of these preachers in his base now. He's hypnotized some of the troops. There are also some fire warriors with magical shield as well, and Nisi's going to opt to... Oh, look at that. See, one magical shield troop stopped by a hypno. That is a great amount of mana to do that. People think hypno, yeah, that's the counter, but mana-wise, it's very expensive unless it is a clump of them.
Yeah, and Nisi is finally seeing about working his way back up to a temple. And I think it's worked for Nisi because the population gap...
I was going to say, yeah. He's gone from 170-80 down to 140, so... The game's not over yet.
Now, Nisi's use of troops is really demonstrating their power through and through. You know, Babo's had some great shaman attacks. He's had some great shaman kills. He's also had a couple of silly deaths. But these troops from Nisi are just relentless, causing absolute chaos in his base at any sort of given time.
Now, I'm not the smartest person in the world, but it looks to me like Babo wants to train some preachers. What do you think?
Babo
do you agree with my assessment?
Babo has a couple of braves that are interested in learning the way of the cloth. Just one or two. Babo does like the unit preacher. Well, he doesn't like the unit preacher. He feels that it is the strongest of the three units. So with
Lovenji.
them turned on, he does try to utilize them. But yes.
Look at the population difference now.
There barely is one.
What has just happened? That Babo has gone from 170 down to 120, so he's lost his shaman in a duel there. Oh, could this be swinging around? Is Nisi going to make a comeback here? I mean, let's be honest. He didn't look down and out, but he was definitely behind.
Well, I would say in most games, especially with players of this caliber, if you're down 60 pop, you expect to lose, don't you? I mean, obviously there is the one pop club, and the comebacks happen sometimes in Populous, but I would say on the whole, you spend as long as Nisi did behind as much pop as Nisi was, you expect to lose the game.
Yeah, we also have to remember often Babo had the population 8 for a while, he had much more mana charging, so he has got big spells in his, I'm going to say it again, arsenal.
You do like that word, but...
Yeah, I wish you'd give me another alternative, please, Lovenji, tell me.
Don't. I like the word arsenal as well. That's usually my go-to.
Is that what we're going? Oh, I've stolen it from you now. What did you dare say it either?
So, Babo's going to let Nisi attack him once again. Babo's constant trading, I think, is starting to not work for him.
Well, he has risen in population since, so there's been a few births, but the population has also risen for Nisi. He's got the earthquakes off. His main base is essentially all damaged now. He can't really produce many men there, but he's off. With magical shielded men in balloons and his shaman, going to try and just take over this entire second base. Nisi shaman is not here. This could be a very, very solid move. He's trying to do the best, I think.
A lot of preachers, and Babo's recognised that the temple is isolated, so he's effectively given his order to all of those preachers to go towards the temple.
We have the first ghost shaman bought deception.
Which one's
occurring.
real?
That one casting spells.
The one casting spells. Thank you, Greg.
Did he just cast? Okay.
Cast a
I cast that on the water. Well, he wants to get the damage out. He's got the spells. He's had them charged for a while, I presume. He can only charge so many devastating spells. start charging
Look
others.
at that mana. That's what you get when you're competing on a 60-pot lead, right?
Exactly.
Just unleash an absolute devastating onslaught of spells.
This could well this one attack here from Babo has been devastating. His shaman has taken out Nisi's main base, and his magical shielded preachers have taken out the second. Population count now, he's now double, almost. Well, not double, but you know, almost double.
So Nisi has managed to get out a couple of preachers, and he's going to slowly send them to try and interrupt the magically shielded preachers on Babo. One of them getting caught in combat with Braves, another one getting caught in combat with Braves. Might not go very well if this troop control stays this way.
Babo's shaman is there though.
Babo's shaman looks like she's got the temple in her sights. If she takes that out, could very well be a good game for Babo. Nisi seeing a red bar for a few seconds there for the first time. Pretty much since this game began. 66 pot out of 66. 63, it's plummeting, Babo's now well over double Nisi's population.
This was a very, very clinical attack. Obviously, he had that population lead for a while, like we've discussed, so he had the chance to charge all those spells and was waiting for the right opportunity, and he found it.
But Nisi is not saying die, he's pushing in. He's got quite a few creatures of his own. Shaman gonna get shot at by the Fire Warriors, but the Fire Warriors didn't get the kill in return. Babo's Shaman tries to challenge Nisi there. And with the assistance of the Fire Warriors, gets the kill onto Nisi. Nisi's army once again forced to run away. Babo's main base, though, looking in an absolute state, but the same can be said for all of Nisi's base as Nisi calls GG.
Nisi calls GG, and we go to the third game, tied 1-1 in this Populous Revival Tournament Best of 7 final.
And that was a 42-minute mega match, that one. Babo played that very well. Was not expecting this to go the way that it did after that opening. But it looks like we're at the very least going to have the finals. It's not going to be a 4-0 sweep.
That was an interesting game. Very happy to see it go that way. Exclamation mark surrender is not the command. There it is. There it is. Good game, right.
Good game. Oh. Well played.
Yay, hotkeys are working.
Fantastic. What is up, everyone? I am Lovenji Gaming, and I am back with game number 3 of this grand finals for the Revival Tournament, the mod that enables all spells and all buildings, albeit slightly rebalanced. He's brought it back to an even match, as the yellow tribe in the blue base, representing Clan Overpowered, it is Babo. He made Babo work for it, but as the red tribe in the red base, representing Divinity Slaves, it is Nisi. I'm not even going to try to say whatever his actual name is. And of course, for the grand finals, this is a special occasion. I have a very special guest, as you know. Once again, joined by The Beginning, also known as Craig. How you doing, Craig?
Very well, Lovenji. Looking forward to the third game in this Populous Revival Tournament here. Hills en Quesos is the map. And I've seen this a few times. I really do like the map. The textures are, not to give Babo a big head, are nice. And, you know, it's just a fun level. It's got different angles of attack. It's got over this essential point. It's got a nice stone head there with Firestorm in. So, you know, I like it.
Yeah, I like how you said you didn't want to give Babo a big head and then went with the adjective nice. Which might be the worst adjective in the history of adjectives.
Well, nice is it's not great. It's not amazing, but it's not bad. It's fine. It's nice.
It's nice.
That's a compliment, Lovenji.
So,
hey, map's nice. Yeah.
Nice. It's fine, I guess.
I suppose it's intonation as well. It's how you say it.
I don't know about you, but I use nice when I'm like half reading what someone says and they say something and I haven't really read it, but I'm just like, yeah, nice.
Oh, but then, you know, if someone, your woman goes, how do I look in this dress? You go, oh, nice. See? So it depends how Babo wants to take it. Does his map look nice, or just does it look nice?
I'm not sure I've ever gone nice at my mum, but
I said wife, not mum. I hope I said wife. I didn't mean a partner. Didn't mean to say mum. Unless you're recalling something from that was locked deep in your mind, Lovenji. I don't think I said that.
One of us has made a mistake here, and we won't find out who until the VOD.
Our chat will surely let us know at some point. Oh dear. Anyway, the players. We've got hills are encasing their base. They've got a big hill in the front of their base towards the opponent's tribe, where you tend to get lots of towers up, like a typical Populous level you would. But you have players here pushing out towards the middle with towers as well to secure more ground, get more huts, increase the population. But the hills at the back of their base will end up seeing towers on them. Babo here opting for 3 quick trading huts, warrior, temple, and fire warrior. Nisi so far is going for the warrior and fire warrior.
Now, I don't know about you, but I'm looking at this and I'm thinking Babo's building kind of really slow. I don't know. It might just be the fact that he's gone for those 3 training huts so quickly. Oh, he's got warriors out already. I think he's going for a warrior rush.
Well, if I'm looking at the spells here, he is 13 population behind. We're only in the 4th minute. And that's quite a big difference considering there isn't many men to convert. Wild men to convert, that is. There are no king wild men on this map who count for 5 braves. Oh, is that just... No, that's not actually part of this tournament. Sorry, that's...
that's just the deep recesses of your imagination, I'm afraid.
That's right, yeah, it's up there with your mum's your mum's dress.
Maybe mum, maybe wife, we're not sure yet.
We're not sure, yeah. Well, I hope there's a difference. Yes, but population has just massively changed again. Nisi's obviously dismantling his base here, or maybe he's just building so quick. He's now 20 population ahead.
Yeah, we've got 49 population for Nisi, 28 for Baba. The amount of warriors that Babo's trained, we're probably going to see him cast Magical Shield here, right? Surely. Just shield.
I would think so. It's the only thing. He needs to kill a lot of men to make this work.
And Nisi had a hypnotize!
It's missed. He's going to lose his shaman now. There's no way he's got another one. He expected it. He charged the hypno, but he cast it on the shaman rather than the troops. Now the warriors are going to do a lot of damage.
That's got to be heartbreaking if you're Nisi, because you saw what Baba was doing. You had the read. You were like, I know he's going for Magical Shield. I'm going to train warriors, or I'm going to charge a Hypnotize to deal with the warriors. Baba even grouped those warriors around his shaman, which was a critical mistake, because Babo didn't expect Nisi to know. And Nisi just straight up missed the Hypnotize. That's got to be absolutely heartbreaking.
The shaman's back already, which seems really quick, but that must have been as normal. He's got more troops around his shaman now. Preaches fire. Is he going to go for another magical shield? He is. He wants to separate these. He doesn't want to get these hypnotized. That's for certain. Nisi's coming again. Will he have another one? He's not going to separate. You got to separate them, Babo. Got to separate them.
Oh, and there goes Babo and his population having been hypnotized. How much damage did he do to Nisi's population? Nowhere near enough. I think we're going to see a very quick game out of Babo in this scenario.
Yeah, counter attacks on now from Nisi. He's got his own warriors, fire warriors, and preachers coming around the side of the hill. Actually, even quicker than going up and down it. Yeah, this just has backfired so much. If he had just killed those men as well.
Killing the hypnotized men, knowing the timer is about to tick off and they are about to turn back to Babo's side. Babo putting preachers in towers, but do you know what aren't very good against shamans?
Ooh. He left those braves at the front of his base as well, and those huts Babo did. They're all going to get killed.
Nisi does go down, but there's so many red troops here.
Well, it's not over yet. Nisi's population did take a hit. Obviously, it looked like it hadn't because he had them hypnotized men, but they've now gone.
But you know, so Hugo's going to love this. Nisi's green bar, it's huge.
Oh my god, that green bar. Oof.
It's just so big, you're not going to be able to catch up to a green bar like that, I'm afraid.
Oh man.
And there is a boathouse for Babo and even more warriors, so Babo's really committed to trying to play this with troops, I think. Tornado coming out to try and strip back some of the towers. Interesting thing going on with this Brave.
I think Babo needs to now recognise his position, if he can, if he's able to. Yeah, that guy is...
he's having a great time.
My word, he's not even like... He wasn't even like on the ground, he was just like a pixel.
He was a
pixel that was just floating around, yeah. So Shaman's are close by here in the centre. Now we're going to see a little duel.
Blast from Babo, not quite finding Nishi. Shaman.
He's got him in the water as
is
well.
good. Babo in the water.
He couldn't afford to lose there, I don't think. His population's too far behind to make any defence happen now. He's got warriors of his own, maybe going to try and loop round the Stonehead or just into the hut. Ooh, that's another earthquake. That's a good earthquake.
Oh, that's disgusting. You hate to see it if you're Babo. I understand that Babo had a rush strategy going on, but he also just built so slowly. And, you know, after playing so well in the last game, he really feels outclassed by Nisi on this map.
Well, he's dismantling. He can get his population back up if he's careful here. I think he's just trying to do too much at once, was the problem. You know, he had them 3 huts, he's then opted for the boathouse. While you're doing all that, your opponent in Nisi is just building and expanding, and he's absorbed Nisi's attack. We thought it was going to be great for Babo. He avoided that initial hypnotize. It was the second hypnotize that just completely dispelled the attack. And now he's just on the back foot for the remainder of the game.
I think the thing that's impressed me about Nisi is he's shown what we would know from traditional RTS games. Still sort of applies even in Populous, you know. He doesn't just slap down all 3 troop huts right at the start and then a boat hut because it's available to him. He's got in his mind this idea of a build order, right? He knows roughly how many huts he wants to build before he adds on X training hut. And he knows how long the game can go on for before he needs the next training hut. And I think that's kind of what's let Babo down in this game. He built all the training huts and then had no population to play with. Whereas Nisi's built huts and has worked his way up to the 3 tech. Bugged Brave in the boat hut again. Yeah.
I suppose it's karma for using his boat glitch in the first game.
Yeah, I don't know what happens. For some reason, a Brave can get permanently stuck in a boat hut, but I like to hope that our glorious leaders are watching this and thinking about fixing it.
Well, he's taking out the roof of the boathouse, I guess. Is a gesture of friendliness there? Armistice? I don't know, but population count is now double. Babo, a double at 10 minutes is humongous. Babo is so far behind now. I don't see a way back from him unless Nisi... I think it's Nisi's game to lose.
It really is, you know, as much as I like to try to put a positive spin on whoever's not ahead when I'm doing my shoutcast, this is an almost insurmountable position for Babo. You know, he's incredibly behind. He doesn't have troops. He doesn't have spells. He doesn't really have anything he can lean on to say, oh, okay, well, he has this. And I just think Nisi's going to starve him out effectively.
Nisi here has got a couple of swarms, tornado, 12 warriors, 10 fire warriors, 5 preachers. Meanwhile, Babo's only got 5 fire warriors and 2 preachers and 1 tornado and 41 population out of 67. So, you know, Nisi's got more population than Babo is capable of having.
And then, you know, this just insult to injury. Nisi is continuously clearing out Braves that try to repair this hut. And I forgot to breathe and therefore yawned. Very important when you talk a lot is to remember to breathe.
What we also got to remember here is that Nisi's base isn't even fully upgraded. Look, most of them huts are small huts because he's dismantling them. So once he can upgrade them, his population is going to grow even further.
Well, Nisi's really just playing with his food here. You know, he's building towers. He's making sure that there is absolutely no way he could possibly lose this game.
Yeah, and I wouldn't say so much playing with food. He's just cementing his position. He's ensuring he can't lose it. It might not be as exciting to watch, but if he wants to, ensure that he does win this game, it's probably the right move at this point. Wait for Babo to try and make something happen, and then just counter-attack. Babo did it in the last one with a humongous counter-attack.
There is a little bit of upgrading finally going on in Nisi's base, so we're going to see that population lead just continue to climb in ways most terrifying.
Yeah, and what we have to remember, similar to the last game as well, is even if Babo does manage to get his population, relatively equal to Nisi's been so far ahead for so long now, he's just going to have that, he's going to have spells in his arsenal available to use that Babo won't.
Well, the other problem with a map like this, or rather a boon of a map like this, is because it's so small and it's so compact. Interesting a road out of Babo there doesn't really. Oh no, it gets a tower. Makes a puddle, gets a tower, takes away some of that precious red tribe building space. And it actually. Oh, we've got trading of tornadoes here.
It almost looked like that first tornado went over Babo's shaman, but just didn't pick him up. He's dead now, though, and this could well be it. Nisi's now got an earthquake. He's not going to hold on to that, I'll tell you that. Nisi likes to use his spells once he gets them.
Well, what I was going to say about maps like this is there's really not very much building space, so the ability for Babo to catch his population up to Nisi's is kind of non-existent when maps are this compact.
Yeah, because Nisi did such a good job controlling the middle, and then also earthquaking Babos as well, reducing the amount he had. He's going to get up this hill now. He's just going to earthquake it because there are huts up there, and that'll do damage as well as take out the position, which it has. Shaman has managed to survive.
Look at all these troops. There's just so many red
magical
troops.
Shield, it's over.
But he might not even need the magical shield. Babo loses his entire front line. He misses his lightning. He's coming forward with the blasts to try and deal with some of these troops. But, his population, he's not going to be able to charge blasts like they're nothing. He's only on 60 population. There he goes. He goes down to the Fire Warriors and blast combination. Nisi's going to take this hill now in his next push, and that's probably the game, to be honest.
Yeah, Babo's just got a few creatures for defense, which have now been hypnotized as well. Rubbing salt into the wound there. They're going to run in and take his own man. The GG's called.
GG from Babo.
Game 2 to Nisi, a fast game there, especially compared to the last one. We're going to go into the fourth game now with Nisi 2-1 in the lead.
Oh, yes.
Oh, it went from pure manliness to the womanest drink ever.
Says the man drinking a pint of wine.
It's a pint! It's a pint!
What is that, everyone? I am Lovenji, and you've sort of tuned in the middle of an alcohol-related argument, playing as the Yellow Tribe in the blue base, representing Clan Overpowered. He's currently down one game, the score 1-2. Representing Clan Overpowered, it is Babo. His opponent, playing as the Red Tribe in the red base, representing Clan Divinity Slaves. It is Nisi. We are here on the map Serpentine Madness. What are your thoughts, Craig?
Well, this is quite a large map. We can see Babo already going for the boathouse. He's maybe going to think about getting the island that's available over there. And this island, once upon a time, had many more Warbin than it does now, but it still does house Warbin, land, and a volcano stone head. So Babo looking to maybe get over there with his shaman, and we'll find out, or maybe he's going to do something else. But we'll see what happens, because this map's huge. These players are very good, very quick. They can build very quickly and expand their population rapidly. Velocity, speed, any other words you can think of there to help me out?
Absolutely not. My mind is not set to synonym.
Haste!
Haste! There you go.
Yes, so as we can see, towers up already at the front of Babo's base. Nisi doing the same, but he's actually getting some initial early ground there by taking up a position on the hills. He'll probably fill those when he can. And obviously these players are building there not just for defense, also to expand around them as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So Babbo was first to boat. Nisi hasn't even built a boathouse, whereas Babbo has and is going to claim that island for himself. He's actually building a second boat, you know, just for good measure. But Nisi's using this opportunity to just grab more territory.
He's actually attacking Babbo's base as we speak. Babbo's got his fire hood up quickly. He's got his temple. He needs to start training quickly before the shaman comes here and just has free reign to blast everything she wants to.
Oh,
the rush is on.
What a blast from Nisi. That was a fantastic... And another fantastic blast. And another. And another fantastic blast.
He's actually... he's gave himself the population lead there by blasting all this, because obviously Babbo took the lead by taking the men on the island. But this is humongous. Obviously, Babbo left his base undefended here, left himself vulnerable to the shaman rush, and this is paying off dividends for Nisi now. He's killed at least 15 men.
He's
21. He's lost 21 men.
Absolutely massacred Babbo's population here, and even if Babbo manages to stabilize this attack, although he loses another 4 Braves there, even if Babbo manages to stabilize this attack, it's not going to look good for him. There's troops all over the place. The one preacher he has trained is going to die to a fire warrior.
Oh, poor Babbo. I mean, the idea was there, but Nisi saw it and has just jumped on the opportunity to take him out, and he's put himself ahead so quickly, and that is why he's the best player in the game, and he's proven himself to be the best even in this mode at the moment. I would like to see it become more popular, but I mean, there was nothing the mode changed there about normal Populous. Babbo left his base, Nisi came in, simple as that.
No, he fell victim to what we often call the Populous honor code, you know, the idea that you shouldn't brave blast because it's unfun and unfair, but this is a tournament, there's money at stake, and it was a strategic decision that Babbo made that Nisi accurately punished, and that's all there is to it.
Of course, I mean, Babbo could have trained some fire warriors and filled them in towers for his initial defense there, like Nisi has done. Of course, he had more time because he was busy destroying Nisi's base. But as I said, we can hear them converting, catching lots of tsunamis. There are a lot of wildbit on this world, so Babbo is not out of it yet. He's maybe 20 population behind. He's going to struggle. He's probably going to have to take a few hits for a bit while he tries to get back into the game.
Yeah, but the big problem is for Babbo, although he has that little island, look how much of the center Nisi has claimed control of. This is, you know, going to be a very difficult to assault position, but when you factor in the amount of mana that Babbo's going to have available to him, this may as well be the fortress level from Undiscovered Worlds.
It's almost as if Babbo's lost the game himself in this and the last game just by his opening strategy.
It definitely feels like it. You know, he was really quite slow. He went for the boat hut and got that out very fast, but everything else just wasn't quite quick enough. And he hasn't quite considered the possibilities of that ping didn't take me anywhere. Oh, there's a boathouse and a temple, so Babbo's not even going to have that island for very long, let's be honest.
Well, that's it. So Nisi isn't the one to make the boathouses initially. He does it when he's got his base set up and ready, and then he's going to just do what he did in the games prior to that, even though it didn't work in the second game, but he's taking the advantage of, you know, Babbo having an undefended base over there. But Babbo at this time is building the temple over there as well. And Babbo needs to be careful, because if he does lose that island, that looks like it's half of his population. He's got a lot of Braves on the second island. Hell, even if Nisi brings his shaman over there, it could be a smart move.
And I think Nisi is going to do exactly that. Warriors and a shaman's going to be able to take out this entire island.
Oh man, I wish I had the minimum one.
Can't imagine why it wouldn't be on.
So 2 warriors is probably enough, yeah? That's all he needs. He's got his shaman, he's going to...
2 warriors with the support of the shaman.
Player. He's even earthquaking it.
Might as well. You
He's
don't have to
put
worry
a warrior
about...
to guard the boat. Oh, that earthquake, man. This is at least 15 of Babbo's 43 population here, and he's, you know,
That
we
was
thought this was going to go on all night long, but Nisi, this in the last game, just sheer dominance. Making the right move at the right time.
Yeah, what remains of Babo's population on this island are now going to get hunted down by warriors. No, they're going to slip by the warriors. They're going to get the boat. This is the most action we're going to have. These braves stealing the boat. Yoink. And now Nisi's stuck on that island with no braves. He's got to build another boat to save himself quickly. Oh, and he does.
I'm sure he'll just kill himself. I'm sure he'll kill himself.
No! Look! Oh, that's fantastic. Nisi does have to do a suicide here because Babo's taken control of the boat hut. He's got preachers in at the temple.
Oh, look at that. Okay.
Nisi is effectively stranded. He has to kill his own shaman.
What are these guys doing? They're trying to build a hut, but the boathouse won't let them.
Yeah, that's exactly what they're doing. You've described what they are doing perfectly.
Oh, look at that. Oh, Nisi's saying he's going to stop it with the fire arrows, but that would have been beautiful.
Nisi still hasn't been able to kill his shaman. He's failed it a few times now.
No magical shields. If magical shield could be on these, it'd be love and life. Fire warrior casting his fireball from the top of the sky is there. Oh, he's managed to... Oh. Hang on. Nisi's sending his warriors forward. Has Babo got any preachers in his base? He's got one coming forward from the back of his base to his front.
He's got one in a tower as well. He does have some preachers as to defense. But
Nisi... Preachers survived. The fires have gone down. Another one's been trained. Nisi's shaman is still unable to kill himself. He's stranded on the island.
Nisi still doesn't know how to suicide.
It's so much easier in the beta version. I fall in the water all the time.
You can accidentally fall in the water in the beta version. Babo's looking at that fire warrior training her.
Get a boat.
Yeah, there's 3 empty boats here. Nisi could just grab one of these boats.
Will this be good? I hope this goes in Babo's favour. Oh! It's so nice! That is such a nice earthquake.
Nisi's finally dead. He killed himself by...
Look, there are more preachers pushing forward. Nisi's pulled all of his fire arrows out of his towers to pull them back, but Babo killed them over the shaman. There's only 1 or 2
Population's
left.
Dead even right now. 57 to 57.
He's got 1 fire warrior, Babo, Nisi, and I think it's in this hut, which is nowhere near the action.
No, the 1 fire warrior's here, listening to a great story.
Oh my god! He's pulled this round! This could go Babo's way. The Nisi shaman's going to come back now, and it's up to Babo to make sure he kills him. He needs
Nisi has 3 lights, Babo only has the 1. So Babo really needs to win this.
Oh, Babo's. This is going to be so important. They both survived.
Oh my god!
How did he even survive? He's called the GG! He recognises the position. He's called the GG.
GG, says Nisi.
That went from there's no way Nisi can lose this to Babo's won. Babo's won.
And it all began with that boat steal. That thing that we were laughing at ended up being the deciding point of the whole game.
Oh my god, that was a minute. That was a 10-minute. Treacherous waters.
What is up, everyone? I am Lovenji Gaming, and we have a series on our hands for the grand final of the Populous Beginning's first ever revival tournament. He's brought it back 2-2-2. That's way too many 2s in a sentence. Representing Clan Overpowered. As a wildman just threw... I swear I just saw a wildman throw himself off a cliff. In the yellow base is the yellow tribe. It is Babo. His opponent is the red tribe, looking for revenge after that absolutely absurd loss in the last game. Representing Clan Divinity Slaves, the goat. It is Nisi. And once again, I am joined by the beginning for this map of Treacherous Waters. Do you recognise the map now?
I certainly do, and I must say, these textures, I really like these textures. The sky is so pleasing, the colours are so nice, and it's just the opposite of what's going to happen in this game, because it's going to be absolutely hectic. Nisi is going to be out for blood, because that last game was absolutely amazing. I'm still on a high from watching Babo make that victory. I'm so excited to see what he's going to do this time. Is he going to be more conservative? Is he going to come straight out the blocks firing? I don't know. right now he's busy converting in his base, building a firewire hut. Nissi as well is just building in his base, and firewire hut has been placed down.
Yeah, absolutely. So, for those of you who have somehow missed all the cast but joined in for this one, this pair of stoneheads here, this is Hypnotize and Magical Shield. The center stonehead will give you Angel of Death. And this stonehead all by itself is the mighty Erode. So, in my personal opinion, from the games I've spectated thus far, I feel like the stonehead you want is the Magical Shield Hypnotize combination. It's definitely had the most impact on the games, although the Angel of Death is certainly a scary stonehead as well.
Yeah, we get to see the Angel of Death, and the Angel of Death is somewhat changed in the revival game mode.
Yes. So Angel of Death, when it eats a shaman, does not provide mana anymore. So it's still a threat, and it's very effective at breaking through defenses. But nowhere near as good for farming shamans for infinite mana as it used to. And you can only have one Angel of Death out at any one time. Oh, we're getting botted.
Oh, we are. We're getting botted in the stream. But yes, Angel of Death now just one at a time. The law being that each shaman only has one angel at her disposal. So she cannot have two angels, because there's only the one. So if she creates another one, the previous one must disappear.
So how does that map in with the law of level 5, in which 5 angels ride to your shaman's defense?
It's a special gargoyle.
It's a special gargoyle. Okay.
I won't have any more questions about that, Lovenji.
Very well. Very well. I have been sufficiently silenced.
This is like the law of destiny. It's a special gargoyle. I tell you, gotta know. It's special.
It's special, and you're going to accept that.
Yes, it's special. Don't ask any more questions about how this traveller works.
So, we've got land bridges from Babbo going towards the Hypnotized Magical Shield Gargoyle, Stonehead. You've said gargoyle too many times now, it's the only word in my head.
I apologise.
Meanwhile, Babbo has also connected to the centre as well. Nisi's opted for Erode and is even praying to it, as well as fortifying. This map can be quite a slog because, as you're probably noticing as we go into Worldview here, it's a big map. There's a lot of building space.
It is a big map, and with the revival mode, the water is not the end of the world, because we can see players building boat huts. Actually, it's Nissi building the boat hut first this time, so maybe he's got some shenanigans planned.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. He's built the boat hut. We'll see if he gets working on a boat straight away, or if he's just having... Sorry, hiccups. Having the boat hut for the sake of the boat.
I've got a hiccup myself. Hey, so much wine. I'm having so much fun. I don't know if it's the wine, if it's commentating with you, Lovenji, or it's probably the last game. The last game was so amazing. I just can't get over it.
Well, it could be any combination of the three, really, couldn't it? Let's be honest. The last game is going to be a difficult one to beat, but if any players are going to do it, it is these two that we have in this game here. Barrow, he's been fighting for years in my tournaments now to try and take a #1 spot from Nissi, and Nissi is undisputedly probably one of the best Populous players we have ever had.
Oh, without a doubt. Without a doubt, he's the best Populous player ever. Babbo is always wanting to just beat him in a competitive tournament, and what better chance to do it in a tournament with different rules. And he's at 2-all now, and he's casting an earthquake here. Could he sink these fireworks? That could be huge if he did. He does! They're gone! There was no lava there, which is interesting.
Huge earthquake. Yeah, this map has an interesting feature in that, in my experience, it doesn't really generate lava. Like, ever.
That would be an... I was just watching Babbo stood still as the shaman walks up from him. I was thinking, what? Has Babbo gone to sleep? He's going to
Baba's
survive.
probably controlling his base. Oh,
Wasted the land bridge. Didn't notice the fire warriors there, which is even better for Nisi. He's wasted the land bridge now. He's lost the position in the center. Had he just brought his Babel just brought his shaman back to the safety of his towers, he'd have been okay. But now the warriors are going to go for the attack. But there are some preachers.
Nisi has got a temple, so he will have preachers of his own. Warriors interrupting the Angel of Death makes perfect sense. Hypnotize coming out from Nisi here seems to be a favourite of Nisi's. I'm not sure if he was reading Babo's play so much as just deciding that actually, with the state of this game, you need Hypnotize as your first spell. And Erode has just gone the way of Nisi now, so we should expect to see that very soon. And in fact, if Nisi can push his way into the high ground, that Erode can cause devastating amounts of damage.
Yeah, if he gets it in between forwards, he can take 4 out. Blasting some shamans here. Nisi, Babo now is going to have what? Magical shield and...
A magical shield and a hypnotize. There's the magical shield onto some braves.
Oh, he's going to try and stop the shaman.
He wants to stop the shaman. He knows Nisi's got the erode.
Not a bad idea. Not a bad idea, but he's going to get it now. Yeah.
He picked the worst possible braves to try and interrupt Nisi with, I think. Earthquake.
Oh, he has an earthquake. Babo does have another one, but he has to be aware of
the... Nisi sank.
No lava again. As I was saying before, interesting mechanic. Like this is like every map is technically a different planet. And maybe this planet doesn't have molten lava under its crust or whatever. I'm not a friggin' geologist.
If only Babo wasn't in this game, he could help you out.
Babo a geologist?
He's just completed his degree in geoscience. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Babo really likes rocks.
Congratulations, Babo.
Anyway, back to the game.
Yeah, but he's got the tornado on the tower there, and he has got an earthquake and tornado in his arsenal. Nisi Shaman's back now with a lot of troops supporting the Shaman there. Earthquake is probably what he's going to cast now to try and get those troops at the same time. This could be bad for Nisi if he loses these troops as well. He's gone for the... Oh, that's a good land bridge.
He's gone for the land bridge to save, but the preachers, good amount of the preachers did get clipped by that lava. So Nisi's down to an attacking force of only 3 preachers instead of the 5 he was initially bringing.
Looks like Nisi's going to go for the side door. He's got a couple of huts next to his door here, but compared to Babel, Babel is built all over his side. Babel building really well this time around.
Yeah, Babel really identified his weaknesses from the earlier games and done his very best to try and shore up a little bit of his play. I think he realised that as phenomenal as he played in the last game, there was a little bit of luck involved. And therefore, you know, he's had his wake-up call, as it were. Because if he hadn't brought that game back, Nisi would be on match point right now.
So we have got a board at the back of Nisi's spear, but he's not doing anything with it as of yet. What could he be planning? Populations are almost neck and neck, but Babo with a humongously larger green bar. As we said, he's got more huts. But right now the green bar doesn't make a difference, no matter how much you tell me. Doesn't make a difference. Nisi could just build more huts.
It's representative of a player's strength at a given time.
No, I could just build more huts. Because he has got the land to do that. And he's got the trees as well. So right now, a bit of a stalemate. I can't see where the shamans are because they haven't got the friggin' minimaps on. Yeah. Can you tell me where the shamans are?
I'm looking for Babo Shaman. I cannot find him.
Spectators should have minimap on. That's a feature we need to request. At least the spectators should have it.
Nisi Shaman's in a tower. Nisi Shaman is
here.
I
can see it there. Yeah. You know what we haven't seen yet? Spies.
I think Babo Shaman is in this hut
somewhere,
but I'm not sure.
Okay. Does the minimap in this version show them in a hut?
Yes. You'll see the big shaman circle in there.
Well, in the multiverse it doesn't, does it?
Woohoo! Look at that. No, I don't think it does in the multiverse.
No. I think
Nisi going with the max range erode from the tower. Babo just about saving it with a land bridge.
Yeah, he knew where he was, so at least Nissi knew where the opposing shaman was. We didn't. As we can see, Nissi is building. Nissi is building more on his second base now, so his green bar has extended, and it's still same population. So, Hugo, if you're watching this, do one.
Those of you who just like the competitive populace and don't know what Craig is talking about, should check out Friday Free for All, in which this discussion was initially raised.
My WhatsApp group has been called Green Bar for the past year and a half or whatever.
But that's because Keith finally won a game, wasn't it?
Oh, has Keith won a game? I don't know.
He has. He's finally won a free-for-all game.
So a bit of a stalemate here, aren't we, Lovenji? Whilst players are building up, expanding their bases, and going for the economic booming routes. If we refer back to a bit of Age of Empires 2 there, the players are booming up.
Booming up, yeah. We've got different RTS backgrounds, you and I, but that is a phrase that I am familiar with. The idea that he is just establishing his base, making sure he's got adequate troop production, huts, and making sure his population is good for optimal mana regeneration as he erodes again from the high ground. That's kind of oppressive.
Yeah, two hoods down.
That's kind of annoying. But of course, those erodes are not unlimited. Nisi will eventually run out.
Yeah. Babo going for a second fire hood on his second base there. Population 7 ahead for Nisi. Nisi's got 15 more warriors than Babo. Babo's only got the 1. Nisi all around's got way more followers, but obviously during this period of a lull where nothing's happening, the additional brace of Babo it means higher mana generation, so he's going to have more spells that are able to be charged. It is
I just
one
had
of the
boat hut get completed somewhere, I swear. Yeah, Baba's finished a boat hut.
He's got his boats as well. Nisi's got his troops. And as I was trying to say, Populous doesn't really have... No, it's alright. I was trying to say Populous doesn't really have much in terms of like mechanics and resources and things, but it's all about managing your trained followers and keeping men busy rather than being idle, and keep your mana generation as maximum as possible. And having trained troops that aren't doing anything for a prolonged time, I should say, is essentially you are sort of idling your mana. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. What we do here in the Populous community, for those who aren't very familiar with how we play the game, we don't have many resources to manage, we don't have much of an economy to take care of. So all of our mechanical skill goes into the optimizing of the resources we have, how quickly we build, how quickly we dismantle to increase our population, and the amount of troops we train and how we use them. So little differences like this, these aren't mechanical differences in Populous, whereas, you'd look at a game like Age of Empires, you'd see a guy with 10 knights and you'd be like, well, that's useful, he's got 10 knights for when he needs them. But that's a lot less mana if those knights were a Populous unit.
Did you see that shaman just get instantly killed?
I did not. What just happened?
Well, the Nisi shaman just sort of rolled up to the coast, and Babo fired 2 shots, and that just killed her. She didn't get fired out the balloon; she just died.
Fantastic. So yeah, Babo's done his research. Vehicles don't have very much health. One of the reasons we touched on a little bit in an earlier cast, one of the reasons we haven't really seen balloons is it's been established that a fire warrior inside a tower deals 600 damage to a balloon, and a balloon has 600 health. Oh, what a respawn, what a swarm from Nisi there.
Nisi was just so prepared for that. A lot of players would be like managing something else. Nisi knew his shaman was due back any second now. He's back to his COR. Gets the swarm ready to cast it perfectly, and just that's it, nullifies the attack instantly.
You seen Babo's spells? Have you seen why he went for that attack?
He's got some earth. Oh!
He's charged a volcano.
He's got a volcano. Now Nisi's got a couple of earthquakes as well, though, and he'll want to use them now.
So Nisi's gone 2 earthquakes and a firestorm, whereas Babo's gone 2 earthquakes and a volcano.
You see, now this is the thing exactly. Nissi's opted to train. He's got 50, over 50 trained followers, whereas Babo's not had them. He's been able to charge that volcano, but now the key thing is, can he get that volcano off, or is Nissi going to do the damage here?
So here comes the Ghost Army. There's the Erode. Big Erode.
That Erode is much better than it used to be. That is so much better.
Yeah, Erode is exceptionally strong on high ground. 2 tornadoes out of Nissi. We're going to see the double earthquake as well, I would expect. Oh, but Babo's cast in Erode. Babo went for a counterattack. He's trading with Nissi right now because he knows he has the Volk.
He wants to get that spell off. The Erode's on. He just needs to keep his shaman alive if he wants to do some damage.
He does. Look at all those warriors for Nissi. Babo's getting so close to them. Oh, Nissi finally runs those warriors away. They could be the thing that decide
if he
the
got
game.
them. Where do you cast the volcano in this bit?
There.
Right there. Okay.
Right there.
Is that the best place? It's gonna, I suppose
so. But what Nissi needs to do now is he needs to make his way to the front and land bridge a path for his warriors, because at the moment the warriors can't get into the base.
Dead.
And Nissi dies!
And Babo has now got free reign to chase those warriors down. But can he? There are towers in defense.
Yes, he can. He just hit a good amount of those troops with an Erode and a lightning there. Big troop damage there. Nissi dropping to 97 pop. Babo did take damage. He's at 128, but he does have a population lead here. And while not being connected to Nissi means those warriors cannot do anything.
It comes back. It comes back to Nissi having those trained followers for so long, not doing anything. Babo's charged this volcano. He's cast it. He's got more. Look at the hypnotizers he's got available. He's doing so much damage here. He's now more than 50 population ahead against Nissi, the world #1. Now, saying world #1 in a community of like 30 sounds silly, but he is the best player at the game, and Babo here has set himself up for a potential 3-2 lead.
And I think it's not to underestimate Nissi's skill, because Nissi is a phenomenal player, and you only need to watch one of his streams to recognize it. You know, the guy, I strongly believe, even in a community of several hundred, he would still be one of the best that we have ever had. His dedication and his knowledge of this game is second to just about nobody. But it does look like it's going to be a bit of an uphill struggle here for Nissi. And he's going to have to think about what he does here, because if he loses this game, Babo goes on to match point and actually has the momentum, which isn't often talked about in Best of series, but is a prominent part of the mind games that goes into it.
I don't remember the last time Nissi ever lost a tournament.
Obscura beat him in a face-off. So.
Oh. Well, it's face-off.
Yeah, you think of that. Say that whatever you will. I know that because Obscura told me. And Babo confirmed it.
Was it just like a best of one?
I don't know. It's before my time. I've not been here long enough.
Alright, Nissi with a counter-attack. Nissi with counter-attack warriors. I've just seen a lot of preachers from Babo over on the side there. Nissi's going to bring these in. Babo's shaman is actually attacking. Oh, look at this player here. He's attacking the side base of Nissi now with his magical shaded fire warriors and his shaman. He's got an earthquake. He's still got the mana to use. Nissi now has got the warriors going to try and kill lots of population deep in the heart of Babo's base.
Yeah, but you know, 16 warriors are 16 warriors, right? You know, they can do
Certainly
a lot
is.
of damage.
That's
Do
a
like
nice
Babo's
earthquake.
idea.
That's a nice earthquake.
Really spicy. You know, Babo's spell usage is great. Nissi's base is damaged, but Babo's population is plummeting. Those 16 warriors, you know, they're exactly as described. They are 16 warriors, very angry, stabby boys, killing population left, right, and center.
Defend though. Of course, they're always grouped up, easy to kill. Nissi's going to take them out. Nissi close. He's at 60 population now. Babo's just floating over the 100 mark.
Yeah, Babo's at 102. Nissi dropping to 59. His warriors are doing the very best. Some of them are starting to get dizzy, though. Some of them are starting to see stars. Nissi's hunting creatures. He's doing whatever he can to stop Babo grabbing these warriors. These warriors are his last hope.
Babel in a boat there with his fire. He just sat in the middle just for a few seconds, contemplating what his decision should be. He decided to head back home, maybe try and take these warriors out. Recognizes the threat they pose to his population.
Yeah, they are destroying the base and narrowing the gap between their green bars.
Yeah, it's not so much the warriors. I think it's the shaman that is backing them up and killing Babel's own warriors. Now Babel's dropped below 100. Nissy's still floating around the 60 mark, and fire warriors. Look at that! It's a lot of fire warriors coming from Babel's second base over there. Is it right to call it a second base? It's hard to differentiate what exactly you call it, but I think second base is good.
I mean, in a traditional RTS, this would be like an expansion, wouldn't it? It's not the main base, but it's a base.
Swarm there.
Swarm from magical shield.
Oh, quick magical shield.
Warrior.
Put some pressure on the shaman there.
Yeah, just got to be careful because once that brave gets there, you can't do anything about it. Only one of the followers fighting a shaman in melee has to be magically shielded. All the spells to reflect.
So good to see these different spells being used, and look at Nissy's second base now. We've actually got Babel there praying at the Stonehead, trying to get his own road. He's got the preachers there converting men. Nissy's got a preacher coming trying to stop him, but it's too late. Nissy's main base is it's scattered. It's not compact. That sometimes is a good thing, but right now it's certainly a bad thing because his population is 40 behind.
Yeah, for maps like Dead Sea, you'd like to have all these huts spread out everywhere so that you can just become very difficult to kill. But on a more traditional map, in a more traditional game with all units turned on, having this many locations to defend is going to be difficult for Nixie.
Have a look through the globe here. It's just, I mean, Babel's base does not look too great either, but it is his second base, which is fortifying everything here. Yeah, nice lightning there. I didn't see what happened there. Why is he laughing?
Erode did what Erode normally does, which is the grand total of fuck all.
Oh, okay.
Baba knew which hut Nisi was in. He cast Erode on the hut, and the hut just refused to sing.
Nisi's not got time for pleasantries or some laughters now. He needs to try and secure this, otherwise he's going to be, like you say, he's going to be down to match point, and something he's not too familiar with, especially over the last few years, at least from the tournaments and the games that we've seen. Even in team games, he always comes out on top.
But it's, regardless of which way this series goes, it's been absolutely fascinating to watch how Nisi's mind is working in these games and how he has slowly evolved his strategies as the games have gone on. He has adapted his playstyle.
Yeah, I hope he does embrace it. You know, if I was in his position, which I was in a similar position many years ago, where it felt a bit stale and you were just doing the same thing over and over, and there wasn't as much challenge. You think you would welcome a bit of a change to the game and try and master it even further.
I've always felt that about Nisi. I've always felt that the desire to play good games is what gets, what drives him more than
and he's
it is
obviously
being the number one.
He's obviously very talented. Like you say, watch his streams. He's very mechanically just gifted at playing the game. He moves around so well. And obviously this revival mode, it creates more things to be attentive of. There's so much more to do. There's so many more strategies and options available. For a player like Nisi and Babo, it can only make your experience maybe more difficult, but it makes it more fun.
It's different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The population gap here isn't too close. It's too far. Sorry.
No, Nisi has pulled it back a little bit. But what I was going to say is, for those of you who have been watching this and thinking about giving Revival a try, Revival, of course, has its own ranked leaderboard now. So you can actually play competitive games on Revival without it affecting your traditional matchmaker points, if that is a thing that bothers you. So that you lose absolutely nothing by giving it a go.
That is a great point, yes. Just much like the arena leagues that are played so often, there are the revival leagues now, folks. So your matchmaker rank and your grade in the actual normal league will not be affected by you playing a revival He has a separate league entirely. So once you get 10 games under your belt, you'll enter that league. Why not give it a go? Become the best at Populous as it was intended to be played.
You can perhaps even become, you know, if Nisi doesn't embrace revival, there's a #1 spot waiting for someone.
Yeah, and then what happens then? Do you have a tournament between the best player of the normal well, at what point does it become normal? If this was more popular, this would be normal Populous, right? You know what I mean? It's very hard to make that distinction. Now we've got the 1.5 mode, etc.
Buffy Road. The chat are all saying Buffy Road after that wonderful performance of the Erode spell. So Babo's counterattack with troops and magical shield on the side. Of course, you've got to remember he's been getting those magical shields mostly for free from the Stonehead that he's had control of all game. And he's got warriors and creatures running around in Nisi's base, but Nisi's doing largely the same thing, although Babo has way more space to defend. He's got a lot more troops, a lot more fire warriors, he's trained warriors, he's built towers. Nisi's actually so under threat that Nisi's forced to retreat to defend his base.
Babo, they got a free erode. Just as he arrives in the enemy base with that free erode, he's going to do some damage. Let's see if this erode can... Oh, was it? I thought...
Yeah.
Oh, right, yeah. I thought he was taking the other one. I didn't realise the other Stonehead had sank.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, that's better than a road anyway. Look at that.
Oh, look at that. Devastating damage, and it all started with a very interesting volcano attack. I really thought Nisi's initial attack was going to spell the end of Babo, but that volcano counterattack was preciously...
My God. What a player from Babo. Just the volcano
point.
charge. He's on match point, 3-2. 3-2, and this could be the first... Could be wow. Babo could finally get his scalp.
This might be the first time in any tournament ever where Babo has a point lead in a series over Nisi.
Aka? What?
There's an Armageddon on the map, so it does that.
Oh, there's an Armageddon. How do you cast it?
You pray to the totem pole.
Okay.
What is up, everyone? It is Lovenji Gaming, and I am back with a surprising turn of events for you here in this grand finals of Populous's first revival tournament. We are here staring at the red core of our #1 player, representing Divinity Slaves and actually down one game for perhaps the first time in his tournament career. It is Nisi. His opponent that's going to take me a while to find on this map. There it is. Playing the yellow tribe in the green base. He's actually ahead, looking to close this series out and take a victory. It is Babo of the Clan Overpowered. Once again, I am joined with Craig of the YouTube channel The Beginning. How you doing, Craig?
You know, I'm doing very well. We're seeing Babo 3-2 up here in this best of 7. He's at match point, wins this game, wins the tournament, takes home how much money, Lovenji?
He takes home €75.
If I was living in Argentina and you teased me the €75 tournament, that would set me up for a year. The economy over there is so poor right now. Inflation's through the roof. €75 is like minimum wage for a year. Keep me up. But yes, besides my my past, this is an exciting tournament. I don't know this map at all. It's impossible to see anyone on the minimap. I don't, especially Babo. I, like you, spent forever going through the minimap to try and find the other players' bases. This is a huge map. How many people normally play this?
This is a 3v3 map, I believe. It's called Head On, and you may understand its naming convention as it is slightly face-off-ish.
Yeah, I can certainly get that by the centre hill here with a totem pole that contains Erode. No, you're not going to correct me?
No, it does not contain Erode. I was
waiting for you to correct me. You just held me there in silence.
I was wondering where you got that from. I was actually moving around the map trying to find the Erode totem pole that I'd apparently missed. No, that is not correct. The totem pole triggers, and that's an important word, triggers an Armageddon.
Yeah, so it triggers the Armageddon because in Revival there is actually an additional spell, which we've not actually mentioned or seen yet, called Hill. So it's taken from the Forge world where you can cast a hill. Maybe useful for creating your own little hill in your base, but quite expensive, but very, very devastating. When you cast it in between 4 huts, it'll take all 4 out. But because that hill spell is there, Armageddon can't be there. So triggering the Armageddon is the only way for the Armageddon to occur. But the biggest difference there is because if you are in a position to take this totem pole, you have to also be in the position to win an Armageddon.
And I really hope that both players know that. I really don't want this to be a game that comes to an end because they pray and they lose an Armageddon. Because imagine how that would make you feel if you're in the middle of a tournament, you're winning a game, you cast Armageddon and you lose.
You shut up. You shut up. You shut up. I forgot about that. I just started getting back to sleep, Lovenji. Your sleepless nights are over. Damn it! I'm going to go back to the therapist. Ah, for fuck's sake. I have no luck when it comes to tournaments. the game's always against me. Oh, man. Anyway, we've got a nice early attack here from Babo. He's cast an Earthquake in between the tower defense of Nissi. Has died, but the Earthquake has actually... No, it hasn't cut off. It's very difficult to tell in that texture, but it's not cut him off. Has destroyed a hut.
Oh, it's not cut off at all. Huge. That's apparently all land. Never mind.
Oh yeah, look at that. What? What?
That's not cut off at all.
Wow, okay. Yeah, okay. It's very difficult in this texture. I do like the texture. It's just, I think it's probably not optimal to play in. Maybe more of a single player texture, maybe.
I think it's a Tickle's Journey texture. It's definitely an Imboy texture.
I think it's a good single player one, but for multiplayer, it doesn't seem particularly great visually for seeing anything. But anyway, this map is huge, and let's check the populations. Equal.
Yeah, dead even.
Which is actually it's a compliment to Babo's skill, because to be equal with Nissi so regularly is very good.
Yeah, and I mean there was definitely a situation. There were scenarios where Babo was not equal with Nissi. We saw in games 3 and 4, one of which Babo somehow ended up winning anyway, that Nissi did outbuild Babo in those 2 games. He significantly outperformed him. And we've got early aggression from Nissi. He gets 4 creatures with a Hypnotize as he pushes in with an army of warriors. I think we're going to see some Dead Sea style gameplay here as troops are running all over the map for Nissi.
This is definitely the way it's got to go. The map's so big. It's so big. Your shaman can't be everywhere at once. And yeah, those hypnotized men were very good. The earthquakes off. Lightning had missed. Blast battle now. Nissi's taking some damage there. Blast save there from Babo. We've seen a proper old-fashioned blast duel here. Both shamans down.
But I feel like the draw is definitely going to benefit Nissi, who has troops in Babo's base.
But those Fire Warriors have just jumped straight into the huts there, but they're not going that way. What's he going to do? What would you do in this position? Because you've got the Warriors backing up the Preachers from Nissi. The Fire Warriors, will they be enough?
Well, Babo's difficult position right now is that he doesn't even have his temple. In fact, nobody's building the temple right now.
Yeah, it's not got the wood turret. He's chopping down the trees. He needs to bring the wood turret, although the trees are going to be good for good. He's also building a fire hut over in that direction as well. A second fire warrior hut. Understanding the need for more troops here, Nissi's pulled away in population. 14 population ahead now.
That surprises me because Dead Sea is one of Babo's maps that he likes to play. So I'd have thought he'd see the size of this map, especially after how he played against Jimmy Hunter when they played this map, and recognise the importance of troops. It surprised me quite a bit that he fell so far behind on the troop category.
Well, Babo's got a somewhat bit of map control on the I guess we'll call it the face-off hill. He's got one tower filled with a fire retainer on the tower. The shaman's passing through there. Lightning is connected. He did turn around and sort of walk back into that, but it would have been a good connection anyway. Probably would have threw into the water. Now going to pass forward into Nissi's, I guess, is the front of his base, I suppose, and the other bits at the back. It's difficult to tell on a map this size.
Yeah, but what you can also see is one of the amendments that was made to this map versus face-off is the hill was widened. So just getting the hill and having a single tower on there isn't enough to completely prevent the Shaman from using the middle at all, as that Fire Warrior in the tower couldn't actually reach Nisi's Shaman. You need many towers on that hill, and there's not enough wood to build many towers. So it does.
I want to bring your
make it a little bit
attention
less
here.
tricky.
I want to bring your attention to the brave count of each player.
Oh, fascinating.
Yeah.
Babo's got a lot of troops. He's got a lot of Fire Warriors. He's arguably got too many Fire Warriors.
Yeah, he's obviously got them primed for defense, and he did trade a lot in panic to Nisi's attack. So this means Nisi's got a much better mana generation. He's got the Earthquake and 3 Lightnings in the chamber. That's right.
Oh!
That's right. I finally found a new word.
I was saving that for the grand finals. I was going to say what happens first. Does Babo finally take a Populous tournament, or does Craig find another word than Arsenal?
You. No, so populations are closing now. Babo's obviously spawned a few men. He's only 12, 13 men behind now. But like I say, his brave population is significantly behind. Whether that's a good thing or not, I'm not too sure. He's got more preachers than Nisi. Green bars for Nisi are huge, but again, they don't mean everything. Although the green bar was successful in the previous game. And Nisi with a win there. Nisi with the victory in the duels. He's going to push forward with the Shaman now. But Baba's got all them Fire Warriors we just mentioned. He's got these towers filled on those hills. So Nisi's going to struggle again now. And he's got 1 tower with preachers in. But the other direction? God, there's so many directions. This is a hard map. These players are going through quite a lot. I mean, we talk about Populous maybe not being the most complicated of RTS games, but this is the 6th game in this best of 7, so they must be feeling some fatigue and pressure at this moment.
I know Babo definitely is. I've never heard Nisi complain about being tired after playing Populous, but I know that Babo does. Babo gets quite a sore wrist, and he starts complaining about it usually. So I can definitely expect that Babo is starting to feel the burn a little bit, especially because these games have been so troop-heavy. Whenever you're playing with troops, you're moving your camera around an awful lot more to try and control everything.
Watching Nisi secure the face-off hill right now.
I'd have thought you'd been looking at my chat as they tried to help you with alternatives to the word Arsenal.
No? Disposal? No, that's not a good one. That's a bold move, Cotton. Hang on, that's trademark. It's a bold move. Can't be saying that on your channel. It's my channel only. So, population difference of 15. Obviously, Nisi's got quite a few spells available to him.
Yeah, Nisi is rocking quite the impressive spell loadout here. He could just overwhelm Babo's defenses with what he has available.
It has to make them count though, because obviously the bases are quite scattered, quite thin. You've got to really make it count. Maybe where the Preacher Hood is would be a great place for an Earthquake. I think he probably recognises that himself. He's getting on top of this hill now with the help of the land bridge. Babo's Shaman here.
You know, Nisi's a great player. He doesn't need tips from us, but he's definitely going to be hunting Babo's troop huts and just looking to take them down.
2 huts down in that Earthquake, 2 huts destroyed. Earthquake, again, showcasing itself as easily the most powerful spell in the game for its cost.
Amut asking if Nisi will use Magical Shield because he hasn't used it once. That's not true. He has used it in previous matches in this series.
Yeah, we haven't seen Invisibility yet, which is really...
we haven't seen Invisibility.
Or Swamp.
We haven't seen Swamp, and we haven't seen Hill.
No Swamp, that's a shame. Swamp's actually quite powerful.
I don't like it.
Because it's too powerful, or because...
I just don't like what they did to my favourite spell.
Well, because it doesn't kill people anymore instantly? Or...
Yeah, exactly. I need my instant Shaman dual win skill.
No, that's the problem with it. It was instant kill. I think it's good now. I like the multiverses better though.
Nah, the multiverses is the worst version.
No, man. No, yeah. 1.5 is better. Multiverse was... No, multiverse has been changed. It's now not as damaging. Nice shot there from Babo. Managed to get the kill. Earthquake from Nisi has done some damage, but what the hell's going on with that hut? Did you see that?
I'm so confused.
I thought it was going to come back out and then reconstruct itself. Populous physics, anything could happen. This is now more than 20 population ahead. He's got, and all of our population is in Braves essentially. So essentially, they've both got very similar troop counts, but Nisi's got a higher mana generation at the moment, which is obviously why he's able to cast these spells.
I would like to see more damaging spells out of Nisi and the magical shields and such. Babo's got an army that has been trying to attack into Nisi's base. It hasn't done terribly well. But there's a lot of warriors for Babo, as well as preachers. He's could potentially push into Nisi's base and deal some damage. But on a map this large, don't know.
Yeah, it's just a difficult one to even commentate a map this big. At least 32 players. Can you imagine this with 6?
Yeah, 6 players could certainly be quite the challenge. Nisi's even been trying to build towers in Babo's.
Nice shot from Nisi there. Gets a kill on Babo's Shaman. Yeah, I can see that tower. Yeah, interesting. A lot of troops around that hill there. A nice little engagement there for Nisi, for Babo, sorry. Yellow there, Babo has managed to kill a lot of red. Nisi's warriors is going to push in now. Hope he doesn't
only warriors there.
Preacher resistance, otherwise they're going to lose them all. A lot of preachers in chase from behind as well. Babo pulling his preachers back there wisely because the shaman is there. These preachers just need to just kill all these waves and try and lower the population down as quick as possible and get the hell out of Dodge, because those preachers from Nisi are... Oh, well, that's a good idea. He could maybe send one back and delay them while the others do damage, which I think is what he's doing if you look.
Yes, yeah. Babo's microing individual warriors back towards the preachers to hold them still. That's
impressive, and that's exactly what you should do. Lightning now from Nisi.
Babo's got to stop losing these shaman duels, though. It's going to kill him. It's going to be the death of him if he cannot kill Nisi. Bring an end to this torment.
Well, Babo Shaman, where is he? Is that what you just died again? Oof.
Oh, Nisi gave command to a preacher that was praying to some of those warriors, and he's been killed.
So the warriors have done a lot of damage. Their population now is only 10 ahead for Nisi, but the earthquakes come in into the main base of Babo, and the
temple just disappears.
It didn't sink, didn't get destroyed, it just vanished.
It just ceased. It is now an X-temple.
The text is so difficult to realise what's water and what's not, but it is the very dark bits.
The very dark bits that are moving up and down are water.
Is that wave? Are they waves? Look, there is waves in Populous again. Lightning there from Nisi has connected with Babo. Babo's missed. Again, that's 3 for 0 in the last 3 duels now for Nisi.
That's exactly what I mean. You know, Babo really needs to shore up his shaman skill here, because he's just starting to slip.
Maybe not so much on the lightnings. Maybe just cast a magical shield. It's cheaper than a lightning, I think, just now, and just get your fire warriors in there to do the damage. But Nisi does have troops in support, to be fair, so it is difficult. Babo's got his fire warriors in the face-off hill, and Nisi has cleaned up the warriors that were in his base, and the population has really dipped for Babo recently. And I think that is just due to not being able to win these shaman duels, and the shaman has just died. Advantage Nisi. Almost 40 population difference now. It went from 10 to 40 within a blink of an eye. And look at Nisi's base. He's got huts, for example, here, which are not even upgraded, and he's got the wood to do it, so once he gets them upgraded, he's going to just spike even further. Yeah,
well, Nisi's population is just spiraling out of control here. Babo's doing what he can to hold on, because, you know, if you're in Babo's position, your match point, you've got nothing to lose. Maybe you find the miracle play, but it's certainly not looking good for Babo in this game.
Yeah, questioning chat there. Can't you see magical shields through invisibility? No, you can't. But in the revival mode, Lovenji, you can only have one or the other cast on a follower.
Yes, and casting one will immediately replace the previous effect. So if you have you can use it in a sort of combo, because you can have invisible followers, use their invisibility to push them forward, then replace that with magical shield for a surprise. But
True.
you cannot have them both active at the same time.
And also Bloodlust is part of that trifecta as well, that's right. Yeah.
Yes. The mighty Bloodlust. Not a spell you'll see too terribly much, because again, the Hill being the awful addition that it is, makes it difficult to add.
Yeah, I'm not sure how I feel on Hill.
I dislike Hill, and I have made that known throughout the tournament that I do not like Hill.
Honestly, I think they should replace it with like a tree spell. Maybe some support where you can cast some trees.
I'd rather just have access to the guest spells for map making.
Well, yeah, I mean, it could be like the Lordiverse, though, so you can just cycle through the bloody things.
Well, that would require 1.5 change.
And that's never going to happen.
Exactly.
But yeah, some more like supportive and defensive spells would be cool. I mean, Hill was, I guess, ideally a defensive spell, but because of its offensive capabilities, it had to be increased in cost.
And even then, when you think about it, it's still cheaper than an Earthquake, and also has more of a mana swing, because yes, it destroys 4 huts when you place it in the middle, but your opponent then has to land bridge that hill back down to get those 4 huts back. So it forces your opponent to use mana as well as the damage that it deals.
Mm-hmm. So I'm looking at the face-off hill here, and Nissy's just got... Look at Nissy's green bar. His base must be absolutely ginormous.
Oh, you were about to say, look at Nissy's green bar. Are you trying to say that the green bar might be important, Craig?
Well, in terms of intimidation, yes. He's got a potential 256 population, whereas Babo's only got a potential 188, yes, but he's still nearly 50 population behind. And it's looking bleak for him. I don't know what he can do at this point. The map's so big, if he wants to attack in one direction, Nissy attacks him from the other. So, yeah.
Yeah, I have a few regrets of this tournament, and this map is one of them. And my map is the other one.
What, the standoff?
Yes. Yeah.
So this map and the next map, the 2 regrets.
Are the 2 regrets. So much so that I'm spending this downtime in this cast being like, should I allow the players to pick any of the other maps for a second time? Instead of playing standoff?
Gotta write it out, man. Gotta write it out. Let's just see what happens.
But here we are.
How about we make something happen? I've got a nice shaman duel here while Nissy sends his troops in at Babo.
Exactly.
But he's just said warriors. We had some preachers there, it'd be great. And Nissy's lost, and he's won the duel again. This is what's going to cost Babo. I think this is what has cost Babo a lot during this game. He's not been able to win the shaman battles.
Exactly. We called it out when he died the first time. We've called it out when he died the second time in a row. We called it out again when he died the 3rd time in a row. And now, look at these troops. You know, Babo's a prisoner in his own base, which is always a bad thing in Populous. If you can't leave your base, you're just bleeding a slow death. And we as casters, we're going to sit here and we're going to try to make it interesting. But if you've never seen a game of Populous and you don't really understand all these colours and what's going on, Babo's in a really bad spot right now.
And Nissy's still got tons of like small huts, so if he does get around to upgrading them, his population's going to grow even more. He's at 152 of 272 now. Babo is at 97 of 213. It's just he needs to do the best dismantling display you'll have ever seen in your life to try and get back in this game, and it's just not going to happen. Nissy's got so many options to provide pressure against him. It's just, I don't know how. I don't want to say Babo's got nowhere to come back from this, because we've had our
we said that once already in this
we've
shoutcast.
eaten our words already, yes. But it's looking very difficult. 2 lightning shots missed there against the shaman. Nissy's going to happily keep dodging while Babo is in the tower. He's got more range, but has he got the mana to use to do this?
Honestly, all that Nissy's going to do now is he's going to charge up mana, and we're going to be witnessing Angels of Death soon thereafter. Because that's all Nissy needs. You know, the Angels of Death, they'll eat these towers, they'll eat these defensive positions, and they'll force Babo's Shaman to retreat. And from that point on, Nisi can just run in and do whatever the heck he so pleases.
I would welcome an Angel of Death for the first time. I would also welcome a Flatten, just to see a Flatten. Nisi's sending a load of warriors here, and there are preachers in defense, but he's shaman supporting, so he'll mop them up. Preachers are being commanded back by Babo to his base.
And this is the problem with the size of Babo's base. You know, what was a 10-second trek for Nisi, he's at the other side of Babo's base. Babo's got to walk across his entire base from that tower, because Nisi controls the middle. It's the power of the middle.
That hill has got a lot of control, actually. Well, Babo's shaman has arrived. Can he get the hit? Has to be careful he doesn't lose his preachers nor his shaman here. He has pulled them back. Earthquake again, damaging. Again, it's just such a powerful spell. And it is more expensive, but when you've got 174 population, you're not afraid to cast it.
Yeah, absolutely. 174 out of 296 for Nisi. So he's continuing to get bigger in both his on-present population and his maximum population. That was a Babo death if I've ever seen one.
That's fortunate. That's the first duel he's won in a while, and it was just Nisi falling into the water. Population difference is 17. It's so big. It's a massive difference. It's looking hard. These warriors here have just been sent forward. He's just teasing them. Okay. Wow, the Hypnotizer hit 2. He had a choice of 12 warriors, more or less, and he managed to hit 2.
Yeah. It's interesting that Nisi is trying to close this out without revival stuff, right? You know, he's got creatures, but he's not magically shielding his followers. He's not invising them for harassment. He's not using Angel of Death. He might have it charged. He's charging Earthquakes. He's charging Firestorms. He's charging Lights.
Yeah, it makes you wonder whether he's doing it out of maybe he's just forgetting, or he's just choosing not to use them.
I think Nisi is in such a confident position right now that he just feels like he doesn't need to. He'd rather play with what he knows and what he's confident with than take a needless gamble on something that he doesn't quite understand, you know?
Yep. But again, how nice would it be to have a couple of magical shield, invisible fire warriors here and wait for the shaman to come and they just snipe him? But boat!
He had a boat.
Came by boat.
Yeah, he had a boat and he's just dumped a firestorm in the middle of Babo's base. He's got an earthquake as well. He's going to drop that in by the warrior training hut. Another earthquake for Nisi in amongst the temple as well. Babo does have a backup temple, so it's not like before where he's just.
Oh, but those are some good casts.
Absolutely devastating earthquakes. And yeah, the population difference is growing. And Nisi Shaman's still alive. Nisi Shaman is contemplating the destruction that she is.
So yeah, the boat was used. Obviously, a map this big, you would probably forget about the vehicles, but no, everything's available. No restrictions in this mode. Actually, additions with a hill spell that we're yet to see. But Nisi taking advantage of the boat vehicle there, while Babo's going through the land entrance to Nisi's base here with some magical shielded followers. Nisi, what is he going to do in this situation? He's just going to stay in Babo's base.
Yeah, and I mean, Nisi doesn't have any reason to leave, really, if you think about it. Although he does take death to those braves, probably deliberately.
Let's see, what can Babo conjure from this position? He's taking a lot of...
all of his warriors.
Yeah, and the preacher got killed by the warriors. Okay, this is not a great attack. Needs more magical shield. He does have a couple of earthquakes up his sleeve. He's cast one there. Well, he's going to take out the huts. Oh, God, that almost got his troops. Just the RNG.
Got all his warriors.
Well, the preachers are in. Fire warriors are coming to support. Maybe take over the hills. Nisi's shaman there is ignoring the attack of Babo. Gonna head in the direction of the face-off hill by the looks of things.
And Nisi's just taking his army, and he's like, okay, we base trade. I kill your base faster than you kill mine.
Oh, of course it will. I mean, it's much bigger as well. Population difference is 40 right now. Nisi has an earthquake. Babo has an earthquake. And a volcano. Babo has got the Volk. But where could he put it? Could the Volk change the tide of the game? Personally, I'm hyping it up with my voice, but I don't think he can.
No, I'm kind of skeptical for the volcano right now, and if anything, that feels a bit like a punt. I understand that you were trapped in your base and kind of camping, but to put that mana into a volcano feels really desperate, you know?
Well, it worked for me once before. Will it work again? Well, I mean, if Nisi's not even defending his base, and maybe Babo can get a lucky kill, maybe that'll be enough, but Nisi's now coming with an army of warriors. Babo's shaman's died. It's obviously not what he wanted to happen.
Yeah, DSFDS, says Babo.
Let's see if Nisi can mop this up. He's got 2 earthquakes, tornado, lightnings. He's going to take out that temple, that's for certain. There's a ton of graves there.
It's just a frightening army coming in here for Nisi. Ooh! Very almost drowned by the own earthquake.
Yeah, not the greatest earthquake, so Babo's going to survive that, not take too many losses. Warrior's Eye, of course, going to run in and take out a lot of huts there. And then the earthquake from Nisi. But nothing too devastating. Nothing that's going to, you know, make him lose the game. The population difference is now only 30, somehow. Babo's running his men. Let's go and check Nisi's base. See what's happening. Babo's still got men there.
Yeah, Babo has a small presence still in Nisi's base. He really needs to deal with Nisi's shaman and all these warriors in his base. Just don't think he will. Earthquake from Babo.
It's going to take out the...
Yeah, he took Nisi's...
Oh! I thought it was
boat.
going to sink. Yeah, he took the boat. Another earthquake there. He's doing what he can. Good shot on the lightning there. Great shot. Kills the fire warriors. So he's still got some presence. He has got the magical... sorry, he has got the preachers. I was hoping they're magic shield, but they're not. He has got the preachers there from his earlier attack. And he's now cast the volcano.
And it's not a great spot for it, if I'm honest.
It's not.
But at least he's cast it.
Yeah, it's not. I think that's the important thing, is to get the bloody thing down.
Gonna make a
And
lot
now,
of
how does
land
he
for Nisi
increase his
when that
position?
instantly heals.
Well, if we get to that point, population now is only 15 difference. Babo's in his base now. He's got control of that hill there with the fire warriors on top. He's taking out the huts with warriors. He's, you know, he's still in this. He's still in this. Look at troops now. Nisi's got 28 warriors, but only 5 preachers.
Yeah, dangerously low preacher count for Nisi, but Nisi smells blood in the water is the thing. He knows that warriors can kill population very quickly, but I think he's underestimating the power of the preacher in stopping those warriors. You know, Nisi's controlling his warriors phenomenally well. If you go to Worldview and Baba's base, you can see them so beautifully spread out amongst various huts.
A warrior does run past his shaman though, but I think it's going to get taken out by the fire warrior. Yeah, Babo's training a lot of warriors. Is he doesn't have another temple, I don't think. It's... Babo's putting up a great fight. It's just Nisi's just having free reign in his base, and then, like you said, the warriors, they kill the population instantly rather than try to convert them to your tribe. And he's running his
Babo's
population
walked
now.
all the way back to his base manually. Might have been quicker to take a death, to be honest, but Nisi's absolutely decimated this base. Population...
Yeah, Nisi's still got trading huts, that's the issue. If you look here, there's like all the trading huts in the game. 2 fire huts, temple, warrior hut.
Yeah.
And another temple next to his COR, so... Babo's back to try and clean up the warriors, which is probably the right thing to do, because they are the thing that's doing the most damage now. The earthquakes from Nisi haven't been exactly amazing. They've killed a hut maybe or 2, but it's the warriors that are killing the pop. Nissy's shaman though. He's like, all right, see you later. And just walk through all this devastation of course. You can see all the foundations of the huts that were once there. He has done a lot of damage.
I mean, this was all entirely built out. It was training huts, it was huts, you know. And now Babo's basically retreated into this tiny little corner that's surrounded by warriors.
Yeah, oh man.
Oh, and Babo losing that shaman door there. I suspect we'll see GG very soon. Babo
yeah, it's a shame the population difference isn't too much, but it's just it's the position, and Nissy's got it all. Nice. Babo doesn't look like he's got many troops left in Nissy's base.
Yeah, he's got a few fire warriors here being a nuisance.
But again, like I said, Nissy's got 1, 2 temples, 2 warrior huts, 2 fire huts. Yeah, he's fine.
It's good to see this multitasking out of them, right? That, you know, after the start that Babo had, that he could even make it look like Nisi was a little bit threatened is still something. I don't think the volcano was a great spell used there.
A valiant effort, though. I mean, we're going to go probably into the 7th game of a best of 7, which probably didn't expect, because we probably expected Nisi to win sooner.
I was expecting a complete 4-0, but especially after that Yggdrasil game, Nisi made that look easy.
Well, Babo has actually really impressed me, so I'm not going to count him out of a victory in the final game. If he needs the final game, well, yes, he's 59 out of 47 in the final game. In the final
game, I think we can say, you know, Babo has surprised us once before, but I think the circumstances surrounding that surprise was a little bit more unique than this circumstance, which just looks like you're going to get overrun.
Yeah, he's got no chance here.
Babo's making another press. He's got quite an army of preachers. He's like, maybe if I can get into Nisi's temple.
I must say this has been an impressive display by both players so far. It's really, you know, Nissy's obviously not familiar with this mode as much, Babo a bit more, so maybe that's why we're having a better competition here, but it's made for some great viewing.
But you know what, Nisi has showed that his understanding of the game does go past what we would call the multiplayer meta, right? Nisi understands Populous. Perhaps he's not the best at using magical shield or invisibility, or perhaps he's just not choosing to because he thinks that the ways he knows are the best. But I think Nisi's definitely he's definitely shown that he can keep up and that he's not surprised by it.
Babo, they're not happy with the terrain. It's sort of the same sentiments I showed at the beginning. It's more of a single player texture, I think. You doing it?
I can't even be bothered because I know how this is going to go. What is up, everyone? It is Lovenji Gaming. We are back for the final game of the grand finals of Populous The Beginnings Revival Tournament. I'm going to spend longer on this intro than the game is going to go on for. As the yellow tribe in the blue base, representing Clan Overpowered, we have Babo rushing straight towards the middle to grab a combat. His opponent rushing as much as I am in this intro. It's the red tribe, representing Divinity Slaves. It is Nisi. The map is Standoff, and it was a good map in concept with very flawed execution. And for this final lackluster match of the evening, I'm joined by The Beginning, also known as Craig.
I don't think this is lackluster. This is the final game in a best of 7 between 2 of the best players in Populous. I haven't seen a rush yet. Players are playing it a bit more typically. This is a good map, Lovenji. Just because players like to rush and attempt to ruin it doesn't mean it's not a good map. We can see here Nisi is converting in his base. He's not left his base. We've got Babo building 4 towers. I presume he's going to go for a firewood at some point. They're converting in their own bases first. Now, is this normal, or is this not typical? Or we would have seen a decent match?
This is very atypical because neither player has sent their entire population at the other yet. So we've already lasted longer than I think the other two standoff games aggregate.
Excellent. Right.
As Nisi opens up with a temple, so we could see a magical shield preacher rush. I mean, that would be a strategy that I would expect with these close distances, especially now that Babo is going Fire Warrior.
Yeah, I think the distance between the tribes it certainly is accommodating to a more aggressive play style. I think just converting your men and rushing in and then hoping for RNG to win the game isn't fun for anyone, and I'm glad we've not seen that. But now, let's see what happens after 2 minutes of gameplay. We've got Nissi here pushing forward, blasting the Braves. He's got the Preachers on the way. And has Babo seen that? Because if there's Preachers coming, your Fire Warriors are not going to do anything if they are protected by a magical shield. Now, this map is pretty huge, Lovenji. There are islands with stone heads. I think one of them might even be an Armageddon, if I remember correctly. I could be wrong.
Yes, the Stonehead is an Armageddon. There's multiple islands. So this map was designed for Age of Populous, and therefore the sort of the close distance is a little bit less of a factor, although some rushing has gone on in there as well. The closed distance is a little bit less of a factor when you can't just immediately magically shield some preachers and attack.
Yeah, maybe this map just means if they're so close, maybe the solution is less wildmen.
I was going for a combination of more trees and just sinking this path so that at least one player is forced to charge a land bridge.
Or you start them with some towers and give them a couple of fire arrows at the beginning.
That too.
Just have the defense prepared so you can't just rush in, but you still have time to, you know, train some warriors or whatever and attack if you want to do that. I don't know.
But Babo's not rushed. Babo's put people in towers.
Yeah, so let's ignore your intro mentioning the lacklusterness of this final game, and let's concentrate for the 20 viewers that we've had for the entire tournament, for a Populous beginning tournament, which is phenomenal. Let's give them the best shoutcast they've ever had, Lovenji.
I don't know if I have that energy. I'm not sure I'm quite that drunk to be taking my clothes off, but we'll give them a shoutcast.
Wait, what?
We will certainly give them a shoutcast.
This is exactly why I didn't go to the Populous meet. I did not want to see everyone with their clothes off when things got hairy. Well, things would have got hairy, I suppose, after the clothes came off.
I was quite surprised, actually, at the Populous meet. Most clothes stayed on most of the time.
Really?
Yes.
Even Keith's?
Even Keith's. Although Keith did sit in my lap, which was weird.
I believe it. Let's check populations now. Wow, Nissi, 13 ahead.
Yep, so Nisi pulling ahead, and there's not a wild man advantage. It looks a bit like it because of the shape of the bases. There's not a wild man advantage to either side, so Nisi has done that purely through build and dismantle.
Yeah. So players do have the option to either land bridge or take vehicles to other islands and build there, but that's not going to come into play for some time. There are not many trees on this level. You're right, Lovenji. Babo pushing in now. There's no defenses here because there are an erode.
Big erode there from Babo. Not quite as damaging as I think Babo would have liked it to have been, but it's a...
No, to me it still feels a bit weak, but I don't know how you increase it.
Well, the thing is, erode on the coastline is kind of still bad. Erode, because of the valley effect that it creates, in the middle of like high ground is really strong. And that's kind of why it's difficult to balance. Because if you were to drop an erode here, it would do so much damage. But it's still kind of lackluster when you use it on the coastlines.
Yeah, I feel like on the coastline it should be more powerful, but anyway, getting ahead of ourselves. Nisi here with 4 preachers. Looks like you sent them to huts or something, I'm not too sure. Babo is just behind in population significantly now. He needs to be dismantled and getting his population up as soon as possible. Nisi's actually at max almost. He's 54 to 56, whereas Babo is 39 out of 47. And yeah, if he doesn't climb up quickly, he's just going to be behind. As we've said many times during this entire best of 7. More population you have for a longer time, the more spells you're going to have. It looks like he's actually going to go for the land bridge, Nisi. This is something completely wild. This is not something you've probably seen at all in this level, in this revival tournament, I imagine.
Yeah, the idea of a player actually expanding to one of the provided islands has surprised me. It looked like Babbo had the idea to do that because he had Braves ready and was going to go and build on islands. Quite ironic that Babbo said he didn't have the energy for another 40-minute game and has... Hello,
yeah, well,
Gate in Houston, Texas, that is watching our stream, apparently. Thank you, Tater, and thank you, Houston, Texas, Gate number insert here. Sorry to cut you off there. That was a strange announcement.
More than 20 people here watching. 24. I don't know what he's talking about, but I'm very excited.
He's showing his gate. He's in the airport. That's why he wanted us to make it last another 30 minutes.
All right, y'all better enjoy the show, yo. I don't know how they speak in Texas. Look at Nisi here. He's taken the wood from the island. That's a very good play. He's recognised there's very little trees on his main island, so he's connected over to take them on. While Babbo has taken a boat, and he has landed on the Stonehead Island with a few braves here. And there are quite a lot of trees on that Stonehead Island, because if you look at the Stonehead, it's actually surrounded by some aesthetically pleasing 3-tree Stoneheads. Correct, 3 wood stone. What? Hang on. Try that again. These... Oh, forget. So
3 wood trees.
Thank you. Tornado from Nisi now on the main strip, taking another tower from Babbo. Babbo with the blast in retaliation. Babbo, second blast, third blast. Nisi's only cast the 1. 2 now, 4 from... Why am I counting blasts?
Because you're excited, Craig.
I'm so excited. Okay, so nothing's happened there. There were a lot of trees actually in the middle bit there, so it's good to control. Nice blast there from Babbo. Nisi's managed to survive. He needs to get back now, Babbo, because... Oh, he's dead.
Oh, yeah. Babbo got greedy for that final blast, and he gets taken out by Nisi there. Babbo does have a temple up, but Nisi's going to start pushing into his base. Babbo building on multiple small islands, whereas Nisi expands naturally to another island. Yeah, interesting that both players weren't in the mood for another... Well, Babbo said he wasn't in the mood for another 40-minute game. Nisi has probably deliberately chosen a slow strategy to wear Babbo down, because Nisi is smart like that. But I don't know why Babbo has also played into that hand. By expanding to 2 islands, he's saying, I want to go into a long macro game. And...
Well, what you have to remember, Lovenji, is that this is the first opportunity for Babbo to, well, besides the last game which he lost, to actually win a tournament, a best of 7 no less, not like a best of 3 or a typical best of 1 Populous tournament, is against Nisi, which he really so much wants to do. So he's not going to risk this opportunity by just, you know, rushing in and losing it within 5 minutes. So he is trying. He's only 10 population behind now. Magical Shield now coming from Nisi with his preachers. He has separated them a little bit. Babbo must not lose his shaman now. His shaman's gone down to the lightning.
He must not lose his shaman, and ask and you shall deliver.
I have my hand on my forehead in disrepair. This could well be. He's going to target. No. Oh god, this is tense because Nisi's obviously got. Well, he had that tornado, but he's nothing else at the moment. Magical shield from Nisi in the final game. People in the chat talk about Nisi not using his magical shield, but look at that, Fire is coming in support now because he knows the shaman's down. He's preaching the towers of defense, and Babbo has been taken out.
Absolutely everywhere.
Oh, preacher!
This Fire Warrior is getting caught by the preacher. Does Nisi not see it?
Has he noticed? Has he noticed? He's not noticed.
This could be the blunder. This could be the blunder.
He's not noticed. He's not noticed. He's taken 4. He's noticed now. He's coming across. Oh my god, how many did he take?
Almost all of those Fire Warriors. They get a good volley onto Nisi. Babbo proximity blasting.
Babbo, come down. Come on, Babbo. You need to not risk losing.
This is it. Oh, the blast is good onto Nisi. Nisi goes down.
No way. Now he's still behind in population here. His shaman could die to these Fire Warriors, and they've still. He's got 1 hypnotized off. That's perfect. He needs to send them to defend the other ones. Oh my god. Nisi there didn't notice that one fire warrior that took at least five of his fire warriors got converted. And he's still in the game, Babbo. He's still in the game. I thought it was over, but that was...
what an uncharacteristic mistake from Nisi there to not be paying attention just long enough for those creatures to get in.
Yeah, the RNG was on Babbo's side there as three preachers, three fire warriors immediately got turned to his tribe. He's managed to repel the magical shielded preachers. There are more coming in now, though, from Nisi, but they aren't magical shielded.
Yes, but Babbo's quite fortunate in that this tower, this hut cannot be preached to, this particular hut model, because the followers are in the centre of that and not in the back.
God.
It's
Game's so stupid.
So
alright, fire warriors, he needs to survive these fire warriors.
Yeah,
Babbo dies here. He's gone. Yeah, that's a good hypnotize. He needed it. He's still alive just, but he needs to avoid dying here. This is perfect use. The lightning's missed. Probably not the best time to use it. He needs to back off. All more fire warriors coming now. There's a lightning. Oh, the tornado could be enough. It could be enough.
With the fire warrior support, fire warrior support might get him.
He's got him in the water anyway.
Yes,
okay, we're good. We're
nicely.
Fine. Population diff is only 6 now. Oh my god, what a game.
Population difference only 6. What Nisi actually did during that fight is he sent 4 preachers here, but exactly as we said, they couldn't get to the fire warriors inside that center hut. And they were just all taken down. And now Babbo has a chance to strike back. Now the problem with Babbo's position is, whilst the populations might be reasonably even, Babbo's population is spread across the world. His main base is still weaker than Nisi's. That is without a shadow of a doubt still the case.
Yes, it's not the point where, okay, if Nisi destroys part of this base, it's fine, because I've got these bases elsewhere. No, that's no good, because those bases elsewhere cannot contribute to the fight at all. So Babbo needs to be very careful here. So the boat hood from Nisi, has he got any boats, or has he just got the hood for now?
I haven't seen a boat as of yet. I have been looking for one. Babbo's slowly trying to connect himself.
Babbo needs to fill these towers so quickly. He needs to get a defense up. The thing is, I think Nisi's strategy is better in the sense that he connected by land and he's still taking trees and bringing them back to his main base. So his main base is much harder to attack, and it's there. It's regenerating men who are available to attack Babbo, while it's the complete opposite for Babbo, because while he is now connected
to one of his expansions, at
yeah,
least.
he's now connected. He's not connected everywhere. I think it's long-term gain. You know, in the long term, that'll be beneficial. But right now, he needs to weather this storm that Nisi's going to throw at him. Well, Babbo has got the population lead, which means he's got the mana lead. But all it takes...
Both shamans charging the same spells as well. They've both got a lightning and a tornado available to them. So they're both thinking the same things.
Oh, they understand the importance of winning the shaman duels. Nice shot there from Babbo's fire.
Into the tornado!
Oh, no! No! Oh, no! That's
got to break your heart if you're Nisi.
Oh,
that is
so good. That was the awareness from Babbo there to just make them move forward and shoot them. I don't know if he meant to shoot them into the tornado. If he did, that would be. I think he would have said something. But the fact that he just actually moved them forward to shoot at the shaman, which in turn resulted in her going into the tornado and then dying, is amazing. And now Babbo is at a 10 population lead here in this best of 7 final. 3-3.
Yeah, Nisi will be looking to strike back, I suspect. He's got a lot of preachers prepared, so I will expect... Yeah, he's now built boats, so we're going to see preachers onto the other islands.
So that's Nisi's attack. He's done that many times before. And will Babbo be able to defend against that? Babbo's now attacking with some tornadoes.
That Nisi leaving here could be indicative that he's just going to go and get in the boat and go do something else.
Yeah, he's maybe recognised. I mean, Babbo has got some preachers. He's got, if he can magical shield them, they can maybe get in and do some damage, but magical shield maybe not too important, because mostly Nisi's defense is... oh no, he has got 40 fighters hiding. So, yeah. Yeah, but Nisi's... sorry, I keep getting the names wrong. Four-letter names. Babbo's got a lot of men in the middle island, but nothing to defend himself. But if Nisi does get the board of men, board of priests over there, men of the cloth over there, he can do some serious damage.
Men of the Cloth. That's a much more dignified name for them than when I was calling them Holy Boys in an earlier cast.
Yes, yeah. Nice shot there from Nisi's managed to get the kill. Quite easily, actually. Babel missed the shot. A couple more towers up here from Babel, but he's only got 2 of them filled. One of them is not. The Preachers are running back now. He obviously doesn't want to lose those. Nisi's going to be on the attack now with his Tornado and Lightning.
Yep, so the saving grace for Babbo here is with the amount of spells Nisi's been casting, he knows that Nisi isn't going to have Earthquakes to start messing up Babbo's base. But there could be Magical Shield here, which could be annoying.
Well, you say that, but you never know with Nisi. His mana generation is normally top of the range. The trees in Babbo's base could use harvesting a little bit, then he could use them, but he has been, to be fair, doing that quite a lot already. He's not really built, like, in the center of his base, which is odd. Maybe that's a tactical strategy, I don't know. Bold move, Cotton, let's see if it pays off.
Yeah, I don't know what's happening with the road.
There's the road again. He's cutting them off, so he's going to force Nisi to use a Lambert to get across. Oh, he's misclicked, apparently.
Apparently that was a misclick.
Well, he's misclicked, but did he take out 2 towers? He took 1 tower.
Did take out 2 towers. That's more than an Earthquake would usually get.
Yeah, he's got them, and he's cut them off. So if he was wanting to attack there, it's not beneficial. But if he wasn't, then it's beneficial because Nisi will need to land bridge over, and Nisi does not have a land bridge at the moment.
Yeah, so Babbo didn't instantly build up the majority of his base because of how scarce the trees were, and he wanted upgrading to happen. But now that upgrading has happened, I'm surprised that Babbo still hasn't done something. Now, Babbo's going to use the opportunity of Nisi being disconnected to go to the back and probably try to land bridge to his other island base. But Nisi's just going to connect straight up the second that he senses Babbo's not there. And yet, as you've identified, there is also a boatload of Preachers. Probably why it's a good thing that Babbo's going back to try and connect.
Well, looks like Babbo's going for the back door there.
He's going for Nisi.
Some Preachers. Now, it might have been interesting here if he had these invisible already, and it just looked like he was attacking.
Nisi's already here, though. Nisi's already turned around. He saw it.
Magical Shield's on. Spread them out, please. Okay. He's hit the scatter key. He's made them scatter.
Fire warriors in these huts, though.
Now, what about the creatures in the balloon? They're here. They've landed.
Yep, and there's nothing that can be done to stop them.
Nothing he can do over there. Lightning missed by both there. Obviously, Nisi's on the high ground. This is difficult. The miss there. He's still alive. He's not for another one. He's missed again. That's so uncharacteristic. Nisi's missing 3 lightning shots.
But all the time that this is happening, Babbo's losing his main base, and he's actually praying to the Armageddon, which could be a bad thing.
Oh, it's on in to pick up some fire warriors there. The fire warriors are still going to shoot Shaman. The Erode's done something, but now Nisi's going to have free reign into the base there. The Preachers, yes, are doing work. One of the Preachers is stuck in that boat. He's a bit unsure about himself. He's not sure how to continue. He's just, relief priest. But yes, that Preacher over there doing a lot of work. What can Babbo do? Populations still a little bit ahead for Babbo, actually, but I still favour Nisi's position. He's got his main base all intact. And Babbo is the one that's having to defend on multiple angles, multiple fronts, I should say.
Yeah, I'm still surprised that Babbo's still not really building out his main base.
Yeah, you think now would be the time, considering he's got the trees. He should be harvesting those again, but there's obviously a lot going on. It's easy to sit here and say, why ain't he doing that? He's obviously getting lots of priests. He's going again with Preachers for the front. He needs to separate them, otherwise Nisi's just going to hypno them up.
I liked the idea of the backdoor for Babbo, but I would have much preferred that land bridge to connect himself to his other base, because then he could have prevented this attack from taking out an entire base,
Yeah, and he could have maybe got a boat and attacked here with his Preachers whilst he went through the front as well. There's the one hypnotise. has prevented 3 Preachers there, which in turn stops the other Preachers who are magical shielded, so essentially the attack has now been nullified.
Still no plans going down for Babbo.
Well, let's not rule them out yet. I mean, the populations are neck and neck. It's just the way they are built. Bases are built is just so very different. Nishi's now making his way to the back door. Oki's now connected Babbo to his other island with only warriors though, so obviously they're not going to stop Preachers, Babbo. I hope you've got some invisible Preachers there or something, because what are you going to do with warriors?
He's been watching your PS1 stream. Gonna send all his warriors at the Preacher.
Is he drank a bottle of whiskey? Needs to be careful here. Nishi's Shaman is on the top with a lightning. Nicely played there by Babbo. Has managed to survive. He's backing off as well. Yeah, well played by Babbo. Another 2 lightnings in the oh god, the arsenal for Nishi there. It's very uncharacteristic of Nishi. Why them warriors have just been preached?
That
was the worst
warriors.
idea ever. Oh. Okay, 5 words of saved, but he did lose, I think 3 there to the Preacher. Ooh, nice shot there from the 5 words in the hut. Being forced up from the earthquake, gonna run. Ooh, that earthquake's done nothing. Besides burn a couple of huts and break a roof of a tower. But no men have been killed by the lava, which is going to make Babbo very happy. Neck and neck, 110 population with both players here. Nishi's pushing through the front of Babbo's base with warriors and Preachers now.
And that attack has prompted Babbo to put down a bunch of plans. He's got hut plans down here now. So.
He does. Yeah.
So, oh no, the classic fire warrior. We're gonna go and try to beat the Preacher.
Hang on, they can stop that one. They can stop that one. Well, the Preachers have. Yeah, there we go. Nishi Shaman is in his own base there. Looks like he's going to try and push to the front. He is slowly expanding Nishi on the island that he connected to at the beginning of the game. Build another fire hut there.
I mean that Stonehead is going to take a long time because it's such a powerful spell.
Armageddon.
Yes.
How do you cast it then if you've only got Hill?
Well, that's what I'm confused about. I don't know what Rally might have done. He might have changed it to a really long volcano, which would be very anticlimactic.
Yeah. Well, let's see here. Yeah, I was just going to say Babbo could build some huts, some towers rather, where he's currently stood. And look like he's doing that now. He needs to fortify that defense a bit more. He has still got men destroying his huts while his Preachers stand by and just watch it to go. Oh, they're moving. Okay.
Can they get past the Preacher? No.
He's managed to survive the attack in the centre though, Babbo. And we're still neck and neck population-wise in this final game.
This has been surprisingly competitive. I'm not going to complain about it. Babbo's unfortunately avoided his wish, however, saying he did not want to play another 40-minute game. We're at 24 minutes and climbing.
It's good. I'm hoping we see some more shenanigans now in terms of strategies. Let's see some balloons. Let's see some Angel of Deaths. Let's see a swamp. You know, if Nishi sends men here, swamp them. They still kill troops pretty much instantly. I don't know if there's a death limit. I think there is, but I don't think there should be anymore. But there is a death limit of 10, I think. I think they should, because they disappear after a certain amount of time. Is that right?
3 minutes.
Yeah. So you can use them to block paths. Is why I don't think there should be a death limit. That's what they should be used for, to prevent access temporarily.
I would like it more if there wasn't a death limit to it, but
yeah. I think that's what they should be used for, to prevent an area to be easily accessed, at least for a period. Because if you just ignore it and then disappears, it's like, alright. That's what you do. But if you just send in 10 Braves and they die, and it's like, alright, carry on.
I mean, it's looking likely that Babbo might just get the Armageddon, and that will bring an end to this game one way or another.
Do you think it'll get cast immediately?
The chat are saying that a shaman that is alive will cast Armageddon when the trigger finishes.
Okay, so that looks like it could go in either way at the minute, because they're neck and neck. Babbo's got 4 more warriors, but Nishi's got 5 more fire warriors. That would be an interesting way to end the game.
Well, there's also a little bit of RNG with how Armageddon spawns them in, because the problem with Armageddon is that it doesn't use your true population total.
Oh, not in this mode. Earthquake there from Babo. Looks like he's sailed around to the island of Nisi there. Well, Nisi's actually attacking from front.
Nisi here.
Earthquake's cast. It's got another one. Oh no, it doesn't. That was the screen I was on. That's not.
Armageddon 3/4 done.
Oh my god, get some Armageddon hype in the chat, folks. We could be seeing an Armageddon end to the Revival tournament. Now, Nisi's lost a couple of warriors there, but he's got the massive Fire Warrior advantage. Oh, an Angel of Death from Nisi. And an Angel of Death from... Oh! And a lightning cast on the Angel of Death, and another one. That should be enough. I don't think he needs to do it anymore. That should be enough for his Angel of Death to win. Nisi Shaman's coming. Babo still has 1 lightning left. The Angel of Death has won that fight for Babo. Would it be worthwhile telling the players that it casts automatically?
No.
Yeah. All right, I was just suggesting because it looks like it's an interesting game, neck and neck pop.
They'll find out.
It's about to cast. The Armageddon's coming, folks. The Armageddon's here. It's gonna cast, and it could work in Babo's favor, but I feel like okay, it hasn't cast.
It hasn't cast.
What did they get?
I don't know.
It was Armageddon, right? How does he cast it?
Yeah, because it's replaced Hill.
How do you remove the spectator thing?
I'm so confused. Push tap.
Ah, does that mean he's... Oh, wow.
I'm so confused. I guess we don't get Armageddon. Baba gets nothing.
But has he got Armageddon? Because we're not spectating him.
I don't know.
We're not spectating him, are we?
Don't know.
I don't know. I'm excited though. Maybe if he starts training 1,000 warriors, then yes, he's got Armageddon. He is. Look, he's training warriors.
Oh yeah. So the Armageddon just replaces Hill.
Yeah. He doesn't want to lose this battle, though. He might just cast out of a panic.
He has. GG, well played. He says.
Oh my god, I've left with a spectator screen on my left side. It looks terrible. Guys, this is it. This is the final of the best of 7 Revival tournament hosted by Lovenji, created by Rally Moore. This is it, the decider. This is it. Nisi in red, Babo in yellow. Babo has cast the spell. Any last words?
But
oh, this should be like multiverse, man. There should be more in the map. There should be more spawned.
I've never stared so hard at an Armageddon before. Oh, but it looks so red favored. Look at those fire warriors. They're gonna fire one volley and just murder all of those braves. I think
as soon as this begins, silence. Here we go. Here we go, guys. Bubbles.
No way!
Bubbles won. Bubbles won the tournament. Bubbles won it!
Good game, well played. Babo is your Revival champion.
Wow. Should we do some interviews?
Babo might want to go to bed.
That was amazing. What a game. Well played, Babo.